Yeah, we got it. Hey, Dr. Brown, how you doing? Ain't no
I'm
money
doing pretty
yet.
good. Oh, what's up? Is that you singing there to the cruise? Looks like Kildare.
Yes,
Ah,
yes.
I would agree that it's better than what Vince Neil sounds like nowadays.
Really? Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
try.
Because and by the way, I know we spoke about this before. Hopefully, with this Corona V bullshit gets finally out of the way, and the crew can finally start their tour with Poison the Def Leppard. Possibly, we hopefully see Vince Neil a lot more better as singing and a lot better looking. Because you remember I mentioned how he looked at the previous couple years with all that
Yeah.
weight gain he had. Yeah,
I don't
dude.
know, like the voice, you can't really, once it's gone, it's gone, you
Yeah,
know?
it's
You
true.
can't really, um, I mean, unless you're a guy like, what's the name from Journey? Steve
Right.
Perry.
Steve Perry,
Uh,
yes, or Rob Halford, or possibly Ronnie James Dio if he was still alive.
well, Dr. Brown, big happy birthday today to Mr. Bill Ward.
Oh
It was his
yeah,
birthday.
that's right. I remember meeting him back in 1997. I told that story there because on our first episode, meaning, excuse me, meeting him at the iRock nightclub where he was doing the solo performance there. Uh, I got a picture taken with him. Got a couple autographs, a couple others. Well, it's on my
Yeah.
Facebook page. Definitely, I should probably upload that image. Put that on our next thumbnail for an X episode there. Yeah. Ah. So what's going on? I know we got our subject ready. I know you mentioned our subject on our last episode, and we got to definitely talk about all this. The
Yeah, there's so
beat.
much I was listening. I was reading and reminiscing on the subject because there's so many different rock and roll beefs.
Yeah.
Doctor, I mean,
No.
there's your main ones that people, like your main, but there's the other ones that get very interesting.
Absolutely. And we got lots of rock and roll beefs here that's been going on between members, ex-members, current members, and such. And believe us, folks, everybody watching out there, we got lots of them. There is a lot of people out there who have beefs with other bands, other bandmates, and such. And we're going to go through a lot of them. I mean, even some even are really related to heavy metal, but definitely, no doubt, it's probably one of the first of all, we have to look at is probably the top notch of them all, the Beatles and how they broke up.
Yeah.
Cause that was one of the most, God, I mean, goddamn, the way that happened was just, and over a business, and over a
Well,
business.
wasn't it Yoko Ono?
No, no, I know we agreed. No, it wasn't really Yoko Ono. It was because they didn't really have the skills to run a business. Now, believe it or not, as you know, they started a record label called Apple in 1968. It was to
Right.
help. It was to help a lot of fledgling artists at that time, get their music out there. A couple of them was a band called Badfinger, Nicky Hopkins. At one point, they even had James Taylor signed to their label for one record there. He was later soon would leave and then became a superstar after signing with a different label, a much better ran record label. But the thing was, they didn't really have the skills to run a record label because, they talk about how not just operating a bar or a nightclub is science. It's the same thing with that. Because you have to know how much to spend on the artist, how to
Yes. Oh, Dr.
promote it.
Brown, let
Yes.
me interrupt you real quick. SC Steve, we're not taking phone calls right now. We have a window towards the end of the show where we do take open calls. SC Steve, please stop blowing up the producer. Um,
Was he getting on your case there or what?
yeah, he's starting up again. Oh, I see. And
Oh
he
yeah,
doesn't know a lick about music.
yeah, yeah. I
Dr.
guess.
Brown, so yeah, so and anyone who calls in, anyone that wants to call in or
Yeah.
whatever, just
Well,
Wait till the end of the show. We have
Yeah,
a
wait till.
window.
Yeah, definitely. We do have an appointment. You want to call in, give your ideas, your thoughts, opinions of the subjects we're talking about, or something you want to feel we should discuss. Wait till around towards near the end of the show, And what does SEC say? Is he in your chat on your show there?
Now he's calling. He's blowing up the
Skype
he's blowing up the
lines?
radio. Yeah.
Skype
So
line? Oh gosh, you gotta wait, SC. I know. Last time, remember, he was trying to say stupid shit like, "Oh, drama over rock." Come on, this is not a drama
yeah,
show. This is,
this is drama free, bro.
yeah,
So
exactly. Now, going back to the Beatles. Now, you got to
yes,
remember that there were skilled musicians. There were great songwriters. They knew how to experiment a lot with their later material, but they did not know how to run a record company. And there's a lot of EMI was having their problems with that because the money that the Beatles are getting from EMI should go to Apple, to get this label
all right.
going there.
Didn't Michael Jackson buy the catalog or
Yes, he
something?
did. He did in 1985. I guess he got the idea from Paul himself. I guess buying song rights and publishing is a good way to help make money and stuff. And since Michael Jackson has stopped working for a while up until that tour that we was supposed to do, which he never, sadly, never got to do. You know, so I guess he bought Paul's songs or bought the Beatles catalogs, which kind of pissed off Paul because he'd been trying for many years to buy up the catalog because it was owned and under the various other people, whether it's Northern Songs or publishing company or basically EMI. And let's not forget, many many people have sought Michael Jackson as the blame for when Revolution was used in a Nike commercial
Ooh,
back in 1987. And the funny thing about that was John calling out the anti-war movement for using warlike tactics like violence, throwing bombs, talking about blowing up buildings to end the
yes.
Vietnam War, which is kind of hypocritical.
Yeah, that's weird. Were you around during the Vietnam War that
I
time?
was about 2 years old when in '68 when that shit was going on. I wasn't even know about the whole thing until I got in high school or basically in junior high when when they were discussing all
If you
that.
were of age, would you have agreed to go? Would you have gone,
Yes
or would
and
you
no.
protest?
I it's hard to tell because I support my country. I love it.
Yes.
But at the same time, we many people didn't really realize what the whole thing was about. If they would have attacked us first, like another 9/11, then definitely we would definitely be up in line to be up front to sign up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Dr. Brown, on the Beatles. Which is, would you say the Beatles beef was like probably the earliest in rock,
Well, it was probably pretty much, yeah, because
like the
because
first?
this was probably the biggest one because Paul
The
since
biggest in rock? I can't
probably the
agree with that.
well there were others because you got to remember this was included management, included a record company, including a lot of different managers that let's put it this way. John Lennon wanted a guy named Alan Klein who had managed the Rolling Stones to do the managing after their manager Brian Epstein died of a drug overdose that same year, '68. Paul McCartney wanted a guy named Lee Eastman to do the management. Now, here's the thing: they got in the room together with John and Paul and the other Beatles, and Klein and Eastman did not like each other. They hated each other. They were calling each other a lot of names. They were arguing back and forth. So that whole thing really went to shit. And sadly, probably one of the most and that helped contribute it because and what the worst thing is that when you the whole thing was a mess because it was rotten to the core, and as a result of that, the Beatles, decided, screw this, the
See, Mo
fun.
just brought up a really good one, bro, that I totally was gonna. That was out of my mind. I mean, there's so many, bro. Dr. Earl, this is gonna be a
Yes.
long show because
Okay, definitely.
Yeah, there's so
Heartbreak.
like there's big ones like I don't even know about like Dr. Brown. This Beatles thing. I thought it was just a Yoko Ono situation.
No,
You're totally opening the Pandora box on there. You
yeah,
know.
because yeah, like I said, you have to have the skills and the mindset to run a record label. And sadly, as great musicians, singer-songwriters, the Beatles were, they did not have the mental skills to run a record label. You know, because it takes a lot of practice. And also keep this in mind. Many of the other artists on the record label, with the exception of Badfinger, who was doing somewhat well, I guess. He had a few hits here and there. Um, all the artists on there, including the ones I mentioned, were not doing that well. And that puts the record label and yourself in debt. And,
Yeah, but uh, record labels back then they you know how it was back then.
yeah, it was,
It's pretty rough. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. But but at the same time, they were not able to dictate what the listeners should not listen to as they now do nowadays. You know, I mean, Frank Zappa
That's true.
brought that up a couple times in past interviews.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. So I guess the top notch would have to be a couple years later, the industrial iconic group Skinny Puppy would break up almost the same way with the Beatles. Both involved in record label issues, issues with one another, management issues. The only difference is, one of the members would die a couple months after the breakup, whereas with the Beatles, it would have to wait about 10 years.
Well, see, I always thought, bro, it was
Yoko.
Yoko Ono.
Yeah,
Is
I think we all agree that Yoko was she didn't really make things better. I mean, John Lennon basically broke a big rule that the Beatles had when they recorded their music. No wives or girlfriends allowed in the studio. So, because that sometimes they could be a distraction. John Lennon broke that rule when he first met Yoko. I mean, the guys that didn't really care for her. And I'm back. Here's something else. A lot of times they did not really care for her because basically she had a mind of her own. She was an avant-garde artist. She had a mindset of her own, and she's basically one of the first strong women out there in the 1960s. Which, by the way, a woman at that period was not supposed to have a strong will or a mind of her own. They were supposed to like follow along what the husband or boyfriend would had
right.
planned it. And I guess that's what caused a lot of conflict with the Beatles, you know, and everywhere else.
So, Dr. Brown, what would do you have a confirmation year of the ending of the Beatles?
Oh yeah, obviously April 1970. That's when they announced it. Paul McCartney announced that he was done. He was thrown in the towel. Now, and sadly, John Lennon, basically he had left the Beatles as well without telling everybody. He wanted to merge on his own turf, be his own identity. He was getting more and more involved in the anti-war protesting, talking about, peace, harmony, unity,
Yeah.
make love, not war, that kind of scenario.
Well, let's just dive into it right now because Simo is firing them off. And Simo, please
Oh
call in at
yeah,
the end of the show.
yes,
Let's
definitely.
dive into this since there's other ones we'll go into, but let's do the Pantera Philip Insomnio
Oh man,
situation.
I know.
Samo and the Paul brothers.
Yes, the
Um,
Abbott brothers, Vincent and Daryl Abbott,
right.
who are no longer with us, who now that they're not around, we'll probably never ever see a Pantera reunion ever.
Well, there's still Rex Brown and Philip Asomno,
Yeah,
and then
but
you can also
yeah,
grab Zach Wild. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. There was talk about that, but then again, Vinnie Paul wanted to leave Pantera gone as it would be. He wanted it to be remembered as it was. It just wouldn't feel. Yeah, the great. Yeah, Zach Wild's an awesome guitar player. He could probably fill in Dimebag's shoes, but the question is, will the chemistry be right between Vinny and Phil? Because you remember, there was a few remarks. I guess in some couple of interviews, Phil was talking
Yeah.
trash about Dimebag and Vincent and all that stuff. But keep in mind, he was on high in heroin at that time. He was doing some of that because of a back issue he was having.
All right.
So he was like, and he basically said a lot of monstrous words towards Dimebag, which Vinnie Paul still have had yet to forgive Phil for. Now, in time, Phil would make amends with a Dimebag's girlfriend or
Yeah.
wife or whichever, but Vincent, sadly, nope, ain't gonna happen. There was a lot of issues between those, and I guess Vinnie Paul Abbott was one of those guys that couldn't really forgive and forget. Sadly, you know.
Yeah, like I went to see a. This was probably this is way past 10 years ago. This is probably 2009,
Yeah.
and it was just the Bret Michaels band. It was the Poison's Bret Michaels band tour,
Yes.
and so I went to see them, and came out at the end. It was Vinnie Paul with a drumstick and a cowbell, and he threw the drumstick out in the crowd, and my friend called it.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Nice.
but that was way, way long
Way
time
back.
ago, and
Way back.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's pretty sad because not only the club situation, um, a lot of times these beefs in the industry,
Yeah.
music industry,
Oh yeah.
it's
Beefs.
fueled. It's
Beefs
fueled.
between the artist and the record label. That's a big one as well. You remember the
Yeah,
Boston's Tom Schultz versus CBS Records? Oh, that was a big one back in 1986. And let me explain that. As we all know, it takes about how many amount of years between this Boston album, that Boston album. That's because Tom Schultz does all the production, the recording, the songwriting, all basically by himself, and he wants to make sure that it's absolutely pitch perfect. No flaws here, no flaws there. He wants to make sure. He even said in an interview, "I will not put out a second-rate Boston album just to fill CBS's pockets or my own." And apparently, CBS was getting tired of waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting on for this record, and so finally they said, "Fuck it, we're gonna take this guy to court for delaying us all this time." Basically, CBS would lose the deal. Tom Schultz and his band would later sign with MCA Records. They would put out the album Third Stage, would become a massive hit. Goes up to number one, gets
yeah.
tons of airplay on the radio, and like a couple years later, Walter Yednikoff, the guy who ran CBS, loses his job, and then later became Sony Entertainment. Sony Music Entertainment. Tommy Mataya, what's his name? Tommy Matoy, Tommy Malata. The
Let
guy
me
who
look it
later
up.
Mariah Carey later on. He would later marry her. I guess he managed Hall and Oates earlier in the 80s and became this big
Nick
record
Cannon.
McKinnon? What? Who again?
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon? No, not
Oh,
him.
Tommy Mottola. Mottola.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. That I have sometimes have trouble pronouncing the last names a few times.
That's a weird last name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. But then again, I can name many others that are a lot more weirder. And I know we also got to acknowledge Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. I know
Uh,
Simo talked about that, and man, that was a big beef for around the early start of Ozzy's solo career. As you know, Ozzy was booted out of Black Sabbath because of his consistent drug intake, his inability to work, his arguing with the band, basically. And plus, there was a lot of. Also consider this, Ozzy at that time, was booted. After he got booted out of the band, he retreated to this hotel room where he just stayed a couple days with drugs, pizza ordering here and there, very depressed, He was very bitter about that. He even said in an interview, it was like when they got Ronnie James Dio to fill into this spot, they were able to go in new directions that they couldn't before. But to Ozzy, it was like seeing your wife with a brand new boyfriend after she immediately files for divorce. So that had to be heartbreaking for him to go through. And while his solo career was starting up, Ozzy decided to take a few shots at Black Sabbath. At one point, he called them Blackmore Sabbath because it sounded like, in his eyes, Rainbow, the band that Ronnie James Dio was in prior to joining the Sabs. And he also
Right.
took some shots at Ronnie James Dio himself. He said that he's got a good voice, but it's not Black Sabbath. Even went to the extreme to even call Dio a fucking gnome
Wow.
because
I mean,
as you know, Dio was a very short dude,
yeah.
and I guess Dio resented Ozzy for that for many years. If you remember back in 1992 in Casa Mesa, California, at the end of Ozzy's tour, he invited the members of Black Sabbath to participate and to also be one of the acts on that show. And Dio decided he's not going to be there. They had to get Rob Halford to take his place, who at that time also was in a beef of his own with Judas Priest. He had left that group months earlier because some. I'm not too sure what the real reason was, but Rob Halford decided in around 1990, after the Painkiller tour, to get he wanted to do something a little bit different. He had a lot of songs he wanted to use, but were still way too monstrous for Judas Priest.
Yeah.
And he decided to put together a little band of his own called Fight. They record their album. It was about to set to be released, but however, the lawyers got involved in it for some reason because the record label was not really approve of it. I don't think so. As a result, Rob Halford, they got into it with his bandmates, in which the bandmates would say, you will never work with us again. Halford was like, screw you, I'm out of here. I'm not with this new band. I'm with the new Legion of Metal that's out there. He stopped wearing all the studs and leather. He stopped wearing all the leather jackets. He started dressing more downer with combat boots, black shirt, and basically the metal at the time was about keeping it real, without about the flashy clothes and stuff. And that's
Yeah.
what Rob Halford was doing. And funny thing is, he never did tell the members of Priest why he did left. During the press conference announcing his return to the Priest, they had a stint with the Ozfest in 2003 when he announced that he was back. KK Downing I did give him a little bump on the elbow. Said, "You never told us why you left the band. And I don't think Rob even really knows the real reason why himself. Otherwise, he would tell us directly. And now, it's interesting you should mention KK because, right, for a while he was in a big beef with Judas Priest, hoping that he was going to come back when it was announced that Glenn Tipton had Parkinson's. He could have been
He,
trading licks with Richie Faulkner on stage, but sadly, there must have been sort of a massive downfall about that, though, that we don't really know about. In
Dr. Brown,
fact,
are you going to be a big fan of KK's Priest?
well, I would like to check it out if concert going becomes
So you
reliable
go to
to
the
go.
concert, like you would go to the
I
concert?
would go definitely check it out because it's KK, Tim Owens, the Ripper, who took Halford's place, who did about later on in the '90s, and plus Les Binks, the drummer, who is a pretty damn good drummer. You got to give him his due. I
Yeah.
would actually check it out, but the problem is, when will he hit the road? It's the problem with this Corona V going on here. Everything's at a standstill. Bands are now doing live streams from their apartments. Lockdown sessions like Sammy Hagar and the Circle have been doing that as of late. Metallica did a video where they were performing of each one of their own places, an acoustic version of their tune Blacken. When I just like to know when it'd be safe to go to a show again and not have to worry about the person next to me having this virus and us catching it. That's the thing.
That is true, but if you look at the math, Dr. Brown,
Hmm.
you gotta look at the math. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, the
and
virus is out there, but
yeah, it is true.
if Just, I mean, if cases keep dropping, then
Yeah, because people are, as long as we wear the mask and have vinyl gloves or whichever we can, dude. I guess that's about it so far. Oh, dude. God, do you have any interesting beefs to bring up here? Because, God, I got tons of them right
I
here.
know. Let's dive into. Well, this was a really good beef, Doctor Brown. The Kiss beef.
Oh, yeah, the current between the current members and the basically with Gina Paul and Ace and Peter.
Right.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. I'll bet right now, I wonder how. I'll bet you right now, Peter Chris is probably acceding each and every time Eric Singer gets behind the piano and performs Chris's song Beth
Or Shock Me,
or
Ace
Shock.
Frehley.
Yeah, Tommy Thayer is doing that song right now, and it's like they're acting like Fraley and Chris didn't exist. The new
Right.
spaceman is of course Thayer, and of course Singer. And a lot of people are just they're calling it a tribute act. Anytime a whole bunch of original members,
Remember the song, Doctor Brown?
yes, oh yeah, we know this song like the back of our hand.
Yeah.
Cold gin, that's your version of cold gin, I know, yeah.
No, it Shock Me,
Oh, it
Doctor
shocked
Brown.
me because it sounds so much similar like that.
I know.
Oh, my
Yeah.
bad. Because you know how Ace really likes how Ace really writes at times, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, it's kind of awkward, to see the two guys wearing Ace and Peter's makeup, and that's not even a tribute band. Yeah, that's understandable, but this is the real deal right here they're playing with. And guess
Yeah.
what? I understand Chris and Fraley sold the rights to their makeup jobs to, of course, Gene and Paul. I guess, to receive a amount of money, I guess, when they left Kiss back in God knows what year they had decided to leave. I know Peter Chris had decided to retire from performing in general, and Ace Frehley is still out there, and he's looking a lot heavier than he used to be, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
he's pretty big, but he's still,
Yeah.
I posted a video on my channel months ago
Hmm.
of a concert. I didn't go to it, but it was just footage from an Ace Frehley show, and they were jamming. They were playing good. So
That's good. I had an opportunity to see him back in 1990 when he played the Ritz in Roseville. I was working. He came to the restaurant that I was working at that time. Was able to get an autograph from him, which I had a lot in this, which I had sadly I was not able to bring with me when I moved to
uh,
Texas, sadly. But the winter at that time was blistering cold. My car had a hard time starting, after I got done with work. And so finally I decided, I couldn't do it. I don't want to risk, being stuck in some parking lot with the freezing cold temperatures and that. So I had just stayed home after we got home. I was feeling bummed out, but I wanted to keep safe.
Dr. Brown, can you give me like 8 minutes?
Sure.
Little emergency, my dad or
Okay.
whatever downstairs.
Okay.
But take over. I'll be back. It's gonna be a long show, guys. So
Okay. Yeah, we'll get
I'll
you
be back.
guys a calls in a minute there. Well, definitely, as we know, Kiss, as you know, are they're in the standstill like every other band, as we know now. But the problem with Kiss at this moment, according to all the diehards out there, is of course it's not Kiss. It's somebody else portraying Ace Frehley, somebody else portraying Peter Chris, and a lot of people they still love to go because they love to hear the songs, but deep down inside they wish it was the original lineup. And what makes it worse is that many times, Gene and Paul have criticized Ace Frehley and Peter for still being high on drugs. And if you recall, folks, Ace Frehley called out Gene for being difficult to work with, saying he was not fired. He left because, as I stated, Gene and Paul were difficult to work with at times, more than a few times, I should say. And at one point in this statement, he called Gene a sex addict who tried hitting up on Fraley's wife. So there's going to be a lot of issues going between those two. And that was a while back, but so far we haven't heard a reply from Gene and all that. But then again, it is true. Gene Simmons has been known to be an absolute sex addict. Well, and sadly to say, I don't think we'll ever see Kiss, the original Kiss, ever get back together. Now, going back to Black Sabbath, of course, Ozzy, Geezer, Tony, and Bill Ward, they would all patch things up. Later on, they would do tons of reunion tours and shows throughout the years since coming back in 1999 after the reunion live show that they did in Birmingham, England. And it's sad that there was a beef that would develop between Bill Ward and Black Sabbath after the 13 album came out in 2013. Sadly, there was issues with Bill's contract. He was having problems with that. Apparently, he was not getting some large sum of money for this album and this deal that he was offered. And I guess they decided, hey, we got to record this album. We got to get going. We got to be on tour. Let's get a new drummer. We did it before back in '97 because, as I mentioned, Bill Ward was not involved with Black Sabbath, and during that year, it was the second Ozfest with Tony, Geezer, and Ozzy there. They got the drummer from Faith No More to fill in at that time. So, and sadly, it would have been nice to see Black Sabbath, finish their how many years of running with Bill Ward behind the drum kit, because he was the one who encouraged Tony to contact Ozzy, be in this band. And Tony, as you recall, was reluctant to do it because they used to beat each other up back in high school. Ozzy and Tony did. So let's head over to what everyone's saying. We also got to talk about the beef between Van Halen, David Lee Roth, and Sammy Hagar. Those two, even though those two toured together as a package show back in 2002, they could probably never see eye to eye. But at least they're able to see eye to eye better than what George Lynch and Don Dokken. Because those two have been known to have a few fist fights, one time in the back of a limousine at one point, I remember reading. But definitely Simo has a point on the YR's end of our show. Someone came up on my computer, I have to get rid of it, my bad. Van Halen, David Lee Roth left Van Halen because he had a lot of things to do. Van Halen wanted to continue on making hit records and stuff, and according to their eyes, David Lee Roth wanted to be a air quote star. He was going to do a movie called Crazy from the Heat, named after the solo EP he had put it out that same year. He described it as Purple Rain, but in reverse. But sadly, CBS Films fucked him, and he took him to court. David Lee Roth took him to court for that. Meanwhile, Sammy Hagar became the new frontman for Van Halen, and they had much success afterwards. 5150 was a success. Oh Yeah 812 was another success. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was another success. Balance was another one that became big. I mean, basically, them and Pantera was the only ones that kept the good rock and roll alive throughout the 1990s amidst all these alternative acts that were out there. Sadly, the beef between Sammy and Eddie would later develop. According to Sammy, and he called him up and said, you should go back to being a solo artist. You should go back to doing this. You should go back to Montrose. We got Roth in the studio, recording some songs with him. And according to Hagar, Eddie was apparently drunk at that time. Now, Eddie, as you know, has had issues with alcohol in the past. He had he had tongue cancer issues for a while. He had a good percentage of that tongue removed, so it makes him a little bit more difficult to speak at times during interviews. Eventually, Roth did come out on the MTV Video Music Awards in '96 with the rest of Van Halen. And the whole place just erupted with applause. Yes, Dave is back. Dave is back. Because according to a lot of the alternative acts out there, the old Van Halen meant a lot to them. So sadly, they did. I don't think we'll ever see Sammy and Eddie back together again. Even though they did kind of like a second lineup reunion tour back in 2004. You know. Oh shit. Oh boy. His dad just had a heart attack. Oh man, gosh. He's gonna call EMS. Oh shit. Everybody listening out there, send thoughts and prayers. Send some hearts to YR.
Doctor.
Everything
Why are
okay?
you dabbling into the Van Halen?
Oh well, I figure I'd bring that up since we'll go with for you. Well, I figure I'd bring that up since Simo mentioned it on your end there.
Oh my God, bro!
Huh.
Like this, man. This might have to be like a.
A quick show?
No, 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 no. We're good. This might have to be like a part two or something.
All right.
There's so many bands, Dr. Brown. Because remember, we wanted one of our episodes to be Texas rock bands.
Yes,
That's
I
a good
remember.
one.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, a salute to those.
Let's just work. Let's focus on this because this topic, maybe it could be part two, part three,
Yes,
and then the Texas rock. We're set for the next month, but
definitely.
man, bro, this we can go. I mean, crowd participation on here on their
Yeah.
opinions. I
Yes.
mean, pretty much every band besides, like, here's a question: what band really made it through all these years and are still rocking, or was all bands always had issues with each other? I mean, with just each other. Let's just I mean, because this is always record company issues and stuff. But is there a solid band group that?
It's hard. Up until now, the only band that was really still together without a lineup change was the group Slate from England. They were the guys who first did "Mama We're All Crazy Now," "Come On Feel the Noise," which Quiet Riot did
Yeah, come
years
on, feel the
later.
noise. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think they could be put in that category as of now because they had issues with one of their frontmen, Noddy Holder. I guess they did some shows with another frontman breaking that code, and I guess right now there's going to be about I guess there's going to be about Dave Hill's Slade is going to be hitting the road pretty soon, and which drives. It's sad because I don't know if there's any bands that are out there that long, a longevity without a lineup change. Is everything okay, Wire?
Yeah, let me get a drink. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Sadly, as I stated, I don't think there's any real bands out there with the without a lineup change. I mean, the ones I'm thinking of that are still out there to this very day, since the day they formed it, was the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, that's.
But sadly, it's not the original Rolling Stones, as we know, because Brian Jones had passed away. Mick Taylor would later leave, gave way to Ron Wood, and of course Bill Wyman, their bass player since day one, retired many years back.
Oh, fly in my throat.
Wow. Um, I know
I was
Seymour might.
watching a little documentary the other day.
Yes.
The Who,
Yeah.
the drummer from the Who,
Keith Moon.
Keith Moon,
Yeah.
was crazy, but he really was the main. He was the main part of that band.
He
He was
was.
really.
He was. Oh, dude. The
I'm
man
not
could
even a
tell.
big Who guy like that, Brown. I'm not a big Who guy. Are
Yeah.
you?
Well, I am on some songs here. It's just not the ones that
Right.
they play on the radio continuously, as you know, with every other act out there. I mean, there are other songs other than the ones they use on the CSI franchise, let alone Bob O'Reilly and Won't Get Food Again or My Generation.
You
My
won't get moved. Yeah, but still, that's a band that
yeah.
pretty much wasn't a three-piece band.
No, it was a four-piece. It was a Pete Townsend, John Entwistle, Keith Moon, and Roger Daltrey. Now it's just Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey
I mean, that's
because
still. I mean, bro, if you still go, have you been to a Kiss show without Ace and Paul, Peter?
the only thing I ever saw regarding Kiss was a couple solo dates by Paul Stanley back in late 1988 when he did Friday and Saturday at the Ritz in Roseville, Michigan.
Yeah.
Warrant was the opening band at that time. They just put out their first record, Dirty Rotten Filthy Sick and Rich, and they were getting their name in the names out there as well.
Well,
But
I
the
seen
only
Kiss like three times, Doctor Brown, and they.
nice.
It's worth. I mean, well, it was an original Kiss. It was obviously, just it was just Gene and Paul, but
Gene and Paul. Is it the current lineup with
yeah, it was the
Thayer?
current lineup
Yeah.
that I seen three times. And
How much were tickets at that? Was it 2009? I think it was. You said it was, or
yeah, this was around when I because I seen them three times, but it was around the 2000s, upper
ah
2000s. But tick, I mean, it depends. Maybe like $100, 150,
wow.
maybe two. I mean, I think when I went to see him with OR,
Ah.
he maybe it was a couple hundred a piece, something like. Because we don't even pay. We're not going to be paying 400. I mean, tops 400 a piece. That me and OR go to concert, and that's like I think we paid that for ZZ Top was opening for Jimmy Buffett.
Ah.
So, and that was fourth row, Doctor Brown.
Wow. That's a
Fourth
trip.
row. So I
Gosh.
think it was like 400 a piece. I was like, man, fourth row, you're right there. You're
Yeah.
there.
Wow. That was a trip.
So, I mean, you
Shit.
know,
No, go ahead.
it was a party though. It might not be everyone's taste, but ZZ Top is a Texas band,
Yeah,
Doctor Brown.
yes, they are definitely that little band from Texas, what everybody refers to do as. Right up
And
there with Stevie Ray and Pantera, and plus, I guess the Fabulous Thunderbirds are from Texas as well, because I know Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother Jimmy was involved with that band for many years.
all right, that's a smaller band. It's a
Yeah,
smaller group.
I remember they.
Um,
Go
let
ahead.
me think. I'm trying to think. I mean, you really were you talking about the Van Halen situation?
Yeah, it was because it was like it's like that's a soap opera and a half, and the fact that they've been downing their bass player Michael Anthony, former bass player, well, it's down so much. The fact that they did not include him when they got back together with Roth in 2007 was like a real major
Wolfgang.
up. Yeah, Wolfgang, who is Eddie's son, who I guess now is recording an album of his own. I guess it's just many fans were really upset because they wanted to see the original Van Halen once again before they all died the next day, and they found out it was not Michael Anthony, who was considered that by many a Mack truck on the bass guitar.
Well, Dr. Brown, I was watching a clip of the Howard Stern interview with David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar
Uh huh.
years ago. In your opinion, Dr. Brown, who's better, Sammy or David Lee?
It's a tough call because David's talented in his own right. He brought a lot of pizzazz. He brought a lot of showmanship. He brought a lot
Right,
of some of that vaudeville style into the early Van Halen. But
right.
but we cannot diss Sammy for his abilities. I mean, he wrote a lot of good subjects. He contributed a lot of great ideas. He brought a lot of more of a downhold realism to the Van Halen sound.
Not a big Gary Sharon guy, are you?
Nah, well, the problem I had with Gary Sharon is that it sounded more like. Here's the thing with that one record they did with him. Number one, it was a lot more lighter. Some of the songs and lyrics didn't really make that much had much of a meaning, And
Right.
when you think it was basically produced by Eddie and Mike Post, the guy
Dude,
who
fucking see. Hold on. This is emergency. Simo really brought it up, man.
yeah.
Aerosmith was a band that's always pretty much stuck together originally,
Oh
right?
yeah, definitely yes. If you
That's a
but
good one, Simo,
yeah,
bro.
but don't forget they had personal lineup changes. Remember first Joe
Who?
Perry,
What do you mean?
Aerosmith. Yeah, back in 1979, uh, Joe
Toys in the
Perry.
Attic.
Joe Perry decided to leave Aerosmith. There was a lot of bitching and arguing between him and Steve Perry a lot of times, to where the point they almost got it on, or he got a scuffle on stage. Tyler would later say to Perry, which he said, which he regrets. He said, "I don't want to be on stage with you ever again." Perry decided to leave in 1980 to put together his group, the Joe Perry Project. They released a couple records, and later on, Brad Whitford, the other guitar player, he would decided to leave. Jimmy Crespo would later fill in for Joe Perry, and a guy
Right.
named Rick Duffy would fill in for Brad Whitford. They
You're a big
decided
Aerosmith guy, Dr. Brown, or no?
I was big on the earlier stuff there, no
Yeah.
doubt. But when he started becoming, pop balladeers for the soft rock stations like Jaded, I don't want to miss a thing. That's when I just said, enough of this.
You don't want to miss a ting. Yeah, it's great.
That that
A
I'm
lot, bro. When you're old like that, like what in the '90s, what they were like in their 50s in the
yeah.
'90s. You think?
Yeah, I think so, possibly, because I know his daughter was one of his other daughters was calling Steve Perry out. I mean Steve Tyler out. You should retire. You're 45. You should let it go. But then again, you got to remember, when you have a legacy as long as you have, like Steven Tyler has, as an iconic frontman for one of the most iconic U.S. rock bands out there. It's kind of hard to let that go.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, Shout out to Clam Baked in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Can we confirm that's him?
Let's see. Let's see if I could put on my phone here, because I take it there's another account, right? If I'm correct.
Do a quick sound check.
Okay.
Do a quick sound check.
Okay, I hear that.
Bro, I got the fucking clearest. Me and Dr. Brown's audio is the most clearest, crystal clear on YouTube. It's what we strive for. Because this is a rock and roll. Want to get and grab a nice drink?
I already have it right here, dude. All right.
All right.
Okay, we'll be right back,
We're going to take
guys.
a commercial break. We'll
Take
be
a
right
look,
back, guys.
and we'll be back. All right. Let's see if I could put up something on the tune up here for the time being. Something that won't. Oh, there you go.
Hey, this is Rex Johnson down here. God damn it. With our homemade. Hey, this is Rex Johnson down here with our homemade salsa and candies. Yeah! We got homemade candies and salsas that are really, really scrumptious, and we do worldwide shipping. And we are Metal Maniacs first sponsor. Yeah! To the crow's nest. Free shipping for all. Homemade salsas and candies. Golden triangle that leads the crows. That's right, free shipping all over the world. From Indiana to Colorado to Kentucky. Yeah.
Here we are.
First sponsor, Dr. Brown.
Ah, nice.
Homemade
That's just
sauces and candies.
all
That's
right.
good.
Sweet. All right. Is that located here in Texas or in Kentucky, as it said? I think it is.
It's in they only ship to Colorado, Indiana, and the St. Jacobs area. So
Oh, dude.
the
You,
triangle, if you put it, it's interesting actually. If you connect like Colorado to St. Jacobs to Indiana, it's like a triangle. It's a
yeah.
crow triangle, which
Ah,
basically is a pyramid from the nest that they wrote. It's
dude.
it's weird. Dr. Brown,
Yes.
let's go ahead and dive into
Uh,
jump back in because this is long. This is going to be a long one, Brown.
um,
You might not even have time for your electronic show tonight.
okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing any electronic show for a while because of the
Why?
yeah, because well, probably because the simple fact that I was the last one I had the live techno stream I had got taken down because it features some copyright stuff there, and I was kind of
Brown,
worried.
won't you do periscopes connected to your Twitter
Hmm.
on that then?
I'm
Because I
thinking,
used to play music and stuff on Periscope and it's
ah,
fine.
yeah, but the thing is, will I be able to pick? Now we got to see
Yeah.
if it will be able to pick it up to sound perfectly.
I mean, yeah, just download the Periscope app and make it connect to your Twitter,
Hmm.
and then it'll yeah, have you play the music or whatever,
All right,
tinker with it.
all right, I'll
But
definitely
yeah,
look it up.
they don't take off stuff or you know.
All right, definitely I'll take definitely look into that definitely when we're done here. Because I like to do that again because I don't want to get in. I don't need things being taken down because of copyright bullshit. That there were times I up wanted to contact the boys at YouTube, to see if I could get my streams or all the videos copyrighted, But sadly, from my understanding from Dave Rose, everything is owned by YouTube.
Right.
You Oh,
See,
well, all right. So, would you say you wanted to dive into something there, this issue here?
oh, definitely Randy Rhodes over Zach Wild.
It's hard to tell because both are amazingly talented, equally talented. I mean,
Yeah, but Randy Rhodes,
yeah.
come on,
No,
Brown.
he is. I mean, he is an inspiration for all
That's like
the.
top five.
Yeah.
That's like top five of the best world fucking greatest. Which we're gonna do. We're gonna do. Um, this is a good like maybe a side piece show. Like,
Yes.
cause this is our flagship. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
maybe for like a 30, 40, maybe like a 45-minute show program.
Yes.
We each come up like you come up with the top 10 best like guitarists of the world, and I come
Yes.
up with it, and we compare.
Okay.
You know,
That
that would
sounds
be
like
cool.
like a little debate here.
Yes, because Randy Rhodes would be in my top five. I'll
Yeah,
tell you that right now.
I would say yes. I remember when I quit playing guitar for a while around the 1980. Then I heard Randy Rhodes. Then I decided to pick up again, try to have a teacher teach you how to play like him, and I ended up sounding more like Tony Iommi. Which is no problem because at that time I was getting to a lot of Black Sabbath albums during
Right,
that period, so no problem there. Yeah,
Dawkins.
yeah. Oh yeah, the beef. Got to mention the beef between their two lead members.
I'm saying, bro, you can name every band as a beef. Dawkins, bro, that's the biggest.
That one of
And
the
look,
dude.
that kills like a lot of like because there's there's beefs in most and all groups,
Mhm.
and but will they survive that? And this is one of the bands that unfortunately
Well, they're
did
still
not.
they're still surviving right now, as I mentioned a couple times, a couple episodes back. That
Don
lineup,
Dokken and George Lynch are not cool right now,
I
bro.
know they never were. They never were. They don't see eye to eye. Don Dokken has his own version of Dokken that's out there right now. I guess him and the original drummer Mick Brown who are still on the road. They got a new guitar player named John Levin and some bass player whose name I don't know. And George Lynch has his group, the Lynch Mob. And for I understand, for a minute I thought they was going to be touring together pretty soon, but as a I don't think. But the thing is, you got to remember, a lot of fans are going to say, "Will we see George and Don on stage during the encore?" No, it's not going to happen, though, folks. Here's the thing.
Yeah, just like how they do, how they say, like Gene and Paul, they were like, yeah, Ace can, all he has to do is just, come out with the guitar and nah, like you gotta have, you can
Got
just
to
hop on, to join the group, join the, on a song or whatever. You gotta have proper,
got to proper this, proper that. Probably had to take a drug test because Gene,
exactly.
yeah, because and despite the fact that Ace himself and Peter has said many times in that one statement I mentioned that they have been sober for 12 years, you know. And yet, however, Gene still has this idea that they're both a bunch of drunks.
Unbelievable, Brown.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going down the docket here of the
Hmm.
list of bands. Let's see. There's a couple groups. Well, I mean, let's just dive into it
Yes.
because we're going actually in the band, but what about like the Axl Rose, Vince Neil situation?
Oh yeah. For one, yeah, yeah. Those two had issues with one another for a while. I
That's probably
remember.
the most famous like beef, right?
Yeah, that was
Tom,
of course that was prior to Vince Neil versus Motley Crue back in 1992, along with Judas Priest versus Rob Halford in that same year. Because remember, there was beef between Nikki Sixx and Vince Neil when Vince Neil was reportedly forced out of the group, or no, basically, let me rephrase that. Vince claims he was fired. Nikki Sixx claims that Vince left.
hmm
You know, Axl Rose had disappeared at that time. He went into exile for how many years? But what I understand the issues between those two was because I understand a couple members of Guns N' Roses were trying to hit up on a couple of Crue's girlfriends there, and that's when
right.
a huge argument escalated, and that's when they started to take it out on the press. At one point, Vince Neil wanted to challenge Axl Rose to a boxing match.
And that's one fucking band, Dr. Brown, that I really wouldn't pay 10 cents to see is GNR. I mean, not really a
Guns
big
N'
fan of
Roses
them.
guy, you know. One
Yeah,
thing
not.
I'm not a big fan. One thing I'm not really a fan of is Axl Rose gaining all that weight and his current haircut.
Well, what is that? Is he looking like Buckethead
No,
or
he looks more like a roughneck version of Donald Trump.
is it a weird haircut?
Um,
Really?
you know what? Let me see if I can down. Let me see if I can send it to you in the Skype chat here. Son of a name go there.
I vague. So this is our flagship night is Tuesdays.
Yep, yep, that is Tuesdays at this time, I guess. Okay, let's see what here. Axl Rose haircut. I'm looking for it right now. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Dude, I couldn't. That is a trip, dude. I'll download it right now and I'll send it in the Skype chat here. For shizzle. This is a trip when you see it. You would definitely agree. He almost looks like a kind of like a biker version of. Come on, dang gummit. Come on, dang gummit. This thing. There
Hey,
we
I
go.
tweeted I tweeted this to Glenn Gilberti, Disco Inferno.
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah, nice.
I'm gonna try and see if we can get him on the program
To talk
in the
wrestling.
future. Yeah, well, bands too, whatever.
All right, that's good. That sounds like a good idea. I know he does.
Talk about the Bee Gees with Disco.
All right, if he's into the Bee Gees there.
Well, come on, it's Disco,
but
it's
then
Disco
again,
Inferno.
how some people, some wrestlers didn't really care for their own gimmicks. I know that Cody Rhodes hated being Stardust when he was teaming with his brother when he was involved in the WWE there. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me get right here now.
Happy Cinco de Mayo too, by the way, to SC Steve. Maybe that's why he was trying to call in. It's like his
Maybe.
big day.
Ah, okay,
Him and his people. Let's go ahead and give a tribute to that.
okay.
Damn it! I didn't even eat no Mexican food today.
Yeah.
I had a Subway. Fuck. Shout out to SC Steve and Jacob RP.
All right.
Um, SC Steve, we'll get you in the end here, brother.
Okay.
I figured it was your big day.
All right.
Ah!
The picture is in the Skype chat there at Axl Rose's new
Like old
haircut.
James Hetfield haircut, you
Yeah.
know?
No. Yeah. What the fuck? You look at that. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Almost looks like a bad mullet.
So shout out to a Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yeah, that's
Happy Cinco
right.
de Mayo today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
see Steve.
all right. Is it going to be this weekend or was it?
It's right now. It's
Oh right.
today.
Oh wow. That's a
It's
trip because
fifth.
usually back in when Michigan it was usually held on the weekend there. I remember in Mexican town there was a big de Mayo parade there I would check out each and every time.
I think at a lot of
Ah.
oh shit.
Hmm.
I think I just lost my train of my train
Ah.
of thought.
Okay. I see. Yeah, that's understandable. I lost my train of I lost mine multiple times there. But you have to agree, that picture of Axl Rose with that haircut is a fucking trip.
Now it does look like
He
you know,
looks like a biker, like I said, a
it's
biker
really
version.
short.
I know, yeah.
That's
I mean,
fucked up. That's short, bro.
I know, it's like, and Steven Langenhelm in my chat says, Vince Neil looking like the cowardly lion. Pretty, you said it much, man. That pretty much sums it up. Oh, shit.
Damn, dude, I was shitting every 10 minutes last week, and now my
Wow.
friend texted me and he said he's shitting every 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh, what
I
the
think I
hell?
just,
Dude, what'd you eat?
no, like diarrhea, Dr. Brown.
Oh boy.
You should know
Da-
about that. You're a doctor. Come on. What would you tell me to do? Get some Pepto?
no.
Would
I
that be
would
your
I would
recommendation?
I would say get an enema, but but
No, no, the diarrhea. It's like a chocolate fountain.
oh, the runs.
The Hershey
Yeah,
squirts.
I
You
was
know?
gonna say, oh, dude.
Come on.
We'll probably give Joe Cronin a next content for his next monetize this to talk about, I guess. Now, if he watches this.
Oh, Cronin said he wants to put this program on Patreon.
Oh,
So
nice, cool.
that'll
All right.
be we were talking to him the other day or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Well, I
nice.
did. Did you watch the show I did with him?
Yeah, I was listening to it. Yes, I was pretty interested. That's like you were going
Yeah,
after a lot of people there, I
bro, we
guess.
went after everyone, but it was like Cronin. He had to let out some steam. I was asking him questions that maybe were a little dramatic, but JB couldn't even fucking come out and talk about it. We hit him. We hit so hard, so we hit home with him.
Wow.
It sounded
I
JB
yeah, because I understand Joe was angry at JB for was it for leaving the
so much stuff, but you know how when people that come on and like they want to talk about like that people talked about them, but like they don't even bring it up, and they bring up the excuse, oh, it makes us stronger that we don't bring it up, and it makes them it's adding
makes him
fuel to
look
the
dumb?
fire.
Yeah.
No, bro, it's a YouTube show. Go on, like I didn't borrow your fucking car. Go on and speak with your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like JB's acting like Joe Cronin borrowed his truck and hasn't given it back in 4 months.
Oh
You know
wow.
what I'm saying? Like, why
Yeah.
can't he just come on and express himself, bro? And tell him like what, just like Joe expressed himself on this program.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
anyways,
I think that's probably what that was because I know that JB is basically was Joe's boy for a couple few years there, and now those two are having issues with one another, and I guess we'll probably see the return of Ken and Joe because remember
yeah, that's
Ken,
coming soon.
yeah,
Yeah.
which and I couldn't be more happier because those you got to admit those two have an awesome chemistry together. They used to do Trash Talk, a couple episodes of that program, which they would
Yeah.
discuss issues within the community and other things there. And a lot of people on Twitter would agree because Joe issued this little poll. It said, who should I work with to do a show with? It was the categories was SEMO. I think it was. I don't know if it was SEMO or not. It was four choices: me, you, Ken, and somebody else. And Ken got the most, not most votes out of all of them.
Really?
Yes. So a lot of people in this community, in the community here, are probably happy-go-lucky that Joe and Ken are mending, are breaking the ice with one
What was the
another.
question on that?
The question, or what?
The full question for
Uh,
that.
the question, it was like, who I would love to, who do you think I should do a show with for my next Patreon?
And when did he post that?
I think it was about a couple weeks. I think it was about a week before for Joe's appearance on last Saturday's Insomniac.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah,
Well, I mean, that's good though. The people, that's what's needed in this community.
yeah. A lot of good chemistry. Too many people having issues with one another and then breaking apart for some dumb reason.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Let's
let's.
dive back to the music here, guys. We're
All
getting a
right.
little
Yeah.
bit
All
too
right.
dramatic. Um,
Go ahead.
you want to take calls
Yeah,
for a
let's
little
say
bit?
let's take some calls. Let's Simo or Steven or even SC. You guys want to call in? This is the time to call in.
Yeah.
Let's see. Blah blah. Or we can probably bring them in. We'll let them know who we are and let them. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue tied, folks. There. Let's see. Let's see if I could add someone to the call. Let's see if I could find a Simo here. I mean, Simo. Because
SEMA
I
313.
yes.
Have you ever talked to him on
I
online?
well, we did discuss on had a good chat cut time on Mars's chat, and one time we were talking about all the Detroit
Yeah, because y'all are
venues.
D boys, so
Yep. Yeah.
you know what I'm
D
saying.
Town. There you go. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if I can add him to the show here, because he's a D Town. Yep.
He's a D town legend.
You know, pretty much. Yeah, I know he's from Detroit, like I am. We were talking about things like Harpo's Concert Theater, St. Andrews Hall, the Ritz in Roseville, New York, and Warren, Michigan. There he is. What's up, Simo?
What's up, fellas?
Yeah, this is the time. I figure this is the time we take calls and call other people. We thought figure we'd get you down there. I know you're in my chat asking me if I knew about
Yeah,
the Envoy
SEMO.
Dukes, Ted
Bro,
Nugent's
SEMO
old
was
group.
like SEMO was really going off on.
All the beefs between
Um,
other bands and stuff. Metallica versus Megadeth. I guess that's been settled
I
out
mean, there's
pretty.
so different. There's like combinations, right? SEMO. There's inner beefs with inner, like in the bands, and then there's so much outer, like between other
Outer
bands
beef.
and other bands.
Yes.
Yeah, and not only that, it's the ones. Not even. I know you're talking about beasts today, but if you maybe for the next show, you could talk about the deaths
Oh
and
yeah.
the dynamic of if it made a band better or which band got worse and never recovered. I mean, there's all kinds of shit that you guys can talk about when it
Yeah,
comes
that's
to
true.
that.
That's
true.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
as
There's a
far
few.
as the breakups, it's like I said, it's got to start with Black Sabbath, right? I mean, they're pretty
Bottom.
much credited with inventing metal music,
Yes.
So, and then Ozzy going his own way to do the Ozzy Osbourne solo project.
Yes.
It kind of worked out for everyone, in my opinion, because Ozzy wouldn't have made all those great songs.
I know.
Yeah. And when you think about it, Ozzy did out succeed Black Sabbath because Sabbath was going through this singer, this drummer, this singer, that drummer. It got to the point where, as you remember, around the middle of the 80s, Tony Iommi had Sabbath all to himself. He went on tour with Black Sabbath with a bunch of strangers.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a lot of the breakups also have a lot to do with the songwriting process, too, because if you're talking about Metallica, you would have never got all that great shit from Megadeth.
Yeah, it's true. Dave Mustaine, he contributed. He did write a lot of good songs that would be Kill 'Em All, the first Metallica album, and it was sadly I don't think he ever got any credit for that. I believe, if I'm
No, he
correct.
didn't get credit. It's
Uh,
what was that song? The Mechanics ended up being he wrote the song that Metallica played. It was called he named it Mechanics, but Metallica named it something else. But I believe it was the
um,
Four Horsemen.
I believe so, possibly, maybe so.
But that was just one of the few that he wrote and didn't get credit for.
Yeah, I know the only one. This one instrumental, I guess, was called the Call of Cthulhu or something like that. That was on Ride the Lightning. That was penned, sorry, by Dave Mustaine, and he was the only one that got credit for that tune there.
Yeah, and they fought for a long time until they did that Big Four concert.
Yeah,
I believe 2014 or some shit.
I think so. Yeah, the little tour they did in Europe, the Big Four. There was them. It was Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax to do the four big metal bands from the early 1980s. United on one tour.
Which you could talk about who deserves to be in there more. I mean, I think maybe like Exodus could be in there. I'm not really a big fan of Anthrax, but there's a lot
Really?
of thrash bands that I would consider better than them. In my opinion. That's just my opinion, though.
You know,
But
You don't like
yeah, it's a shame that tour never came to America. I mean, they would have made a shit ton of money if they would have
oh,
done that
dude,
here.
every stadium would have been packed. Every stadium, every venue, whether it was an amphitheater or such, it would have been definitely stadium because these are the four legendary heavy metal bands, as I said, from the new heavy metal period, as it was called at that time,
Thrash metal. Yep.
the thrash metal period.
I think they did one concert at Yankee Stadium, if I remember correctly, but that's it.
Ah, should probably look that up sometime. But it is interesting, to know that finally they're on good terms with one another, and I guess
SEMO.
if you ever watched the movie Some Kind of Monster, the Metallica documentary,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was of course, as you anyone who's seen that movie, you know that there was a meeting between Lars Ulrich and Dave Mustaine talking about why Mustaine was let go the way he was. Well, you okay,
Yeah.
dude? Because as we
My
know,
bad.
it's all,
I had to let
because
that
as we
one go. I
all,
could not hold that in any longer.
wow,
Go ahead.
that's a big rip right there.
Yo,
Anyways, yes.
No,
go ahead.
let Earl finish, man. He
Dr.
was in the
Brown
middle of
finish, and then I have a question for.
something.
No, I got it. Okay. Because as you know, Dave Mustaine has had issues with alcohol at that time. He was, and I guess what it was is that his drinking got way out of control. And even Mustaine even admitted when he's a drunk, he becomes violently angry, while everybody else gets laughy and silly. And those kind of people, those kind of drunks do not mix together. And he even agrees that he should have been fired for the way because of the nature of the disease that that Dave was having issues with at that time.
And not only that, the funny thing, well, not funny, but the odd thing is that now it's James that was just in rehab,
Yes.
and Dave is the one that's like a Bible thumping clean guy.
Yeah, I know. I heard he converted to Christianity now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now James Hetfield's the one that has the alcohol problems.
Well, I just hope he does. I mentioned this on another program. I hope he does not have go through this throughout the rest of his career because Dave Mustaine, as you know, he had to go to rehab 15 times, believe it or
Yeah,
not. And so far, this is the second time where he has had to go to rehab. Hetfield, that is. Remember, he did it first in 2001, and he also did it in just not too long ago. So there was a long period of time. But when you're trying to get battle addiction, I guess the need to have that crutch was going to be in the back of your mind at times.
that's true. And it looks like he's okay now because I believe just like a week ago they released "Blackened" as an acoustic song.
Yeah, I
They
saw
released it
that.
here on YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah,
so he looks good and looks
yeah,
healthy.
doing
So
their own lockdown sessions there from each other's place there.
Yeah, Blackened as an acoustic song. That's crazy.
That is interesting. I think they did the same thing with the Four Horsemen not too long ago, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Uh,
What were you gonna say, Wire?
Oh, Simo, give us your top five favorite um, groups. Performers of
Top
this
five
genre,
favorite
of the rock
groups
genre.
of like metal, or
Just the whole rock and roll genre as a
yeah,
whole.
heavy metal. Yes, yeah.
well, there's
Electric
gonna
guitar, drums.
there's gonna be some bands that people don't know about, but my
Well,
all-time
no, no,
favorite.
no, 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 no. You got to do. Let's come on.
The main
Well, I gotta
ones,
name
the
my
Simply.
main
favorite.
bands.
Yeah, let's be simple here. Let's not. Let's
Okay,
not.
I'll
Let's not.
name.
Let's not. Stabbing westward. Let's not. Come on.
No, it's nothing
Oh
like that.
no.
Um, all right, I'd start with a band called Death.
Oh yeah, I heard of them.
Okay. Death would be in there. I'd have to put Metallica and Pantera in there,
Yeah,
just
Yep.
because that's what I grew up on when I
I
was a
think
kid.
everyone puts Metallica in that.
Metallica, Pantera, Death, and then I'd have to add Black Sabbath just because of how
Oh yeah,
influential they are.
Yeah, everyone puts that in there too.
yeah.
And my all-time favorite band is the Black Dahlia Murder. They're from Detroit.
Ah,
What?
Yeah.
Dr. Brown, are you familiar with that band?
I have heard of them a few times. Yes, and they do have some albums out there, if I'm correct.
Melodic death metal. Yep.
Yep.
They're like what a symphony would be if they were a death metal band.
Yeah. We should probably, we should have Simo come on our program to discuss, also some well-known Detroit bands. I know on my end,
Simo, you know a lot about Detroit rock?
Yeah, I asked Dr. Earl if he knew what he knew about the Amboy Dukes.
yeah, Ted Nugent's old band from the 1960s. The songs like Journey to the Center of Your Mind, it gets played on classic rock stations back there a few times. Their version of Baby Please Don't Go, which is a pretty kicking version there.
Right.
And
And
plus,
go ahead.
the MC5, who I often christen as the original Rage Against the Machine.
Yep, I live next to their drummer.
Yeah.
What?
Wow,
Yep.
nice.
And then there's Alice Cooper, there's Bob Seger. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a
Yeah,
lot
Bob
just in the
Seger.
rock
And
category
also
alone.
we also got to give acknowledgement to a band that Bob Seger had prior to the Silver Bowl band. I mentioned this a while before, the Bob Seger System.
Yeah, yep. That's a
That,
band like the Amboy Dukes who gets forgotten about a lot.
and it was sad because they were the ones that originally did the Rambling Gambling Man. And you also
Yeah,
we got
which
to
everybody
tell,
covered.
yeah, which also we got to also talk about this one song. I put this up in category of 3 top anti-war movie. No, excuse me, anti-war songs next to War Pigs and War by Edward Starr. 2+2 by the Bob Seger System. Very profound anti-war
Oh,
song if
really?
you listen. Yes, definitely look it up, man.
All right, I'm gonna look it up, but I'm gonna hit like on it so I can review it later.
Yes,
Bob Seger
System.
System.
Yes, 2+2 equals question mark.
Oh wow, here it is.
Yep.
What year is it? Is
I'm
it?
not too sure, but I think it came out. It came out during the Vietnam War period, and no doubt.
Yeah, it
Well,
was
I mean,
like
now,
69
since
or
we're
70.
speaking about Vietnam War, can we talk about an instant classic from back then, from
Yeah.
the Rolling Stones, Painted Black?
Well,
Yeah.
nobody even asked for your opinion, you fuckface.
Who's singing
Who
on
what?
this?
SC
that-
Steve.
No, is that Bob Seger singing on this?
Yep, that's it. Yep, it is. Yes,
Early, right? Early.
yes, very early.
And all right, I hit like. I'm gonna listen to it later. Ladies and gentlemen, SE Steve.
Is he?
How you
Evening,
doing?
young Republican Earl.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are talking about Vietnam. I was bringing up Rolling Stones, Painted Black.
Oh,
Yeah.
what about it?
Well, it's instant classic. The lyrics itself.
what
man.
about we
SE
got to get
Steve,
out of
give us
here?
your-
Ride the
Give us your
animals.
top 3 favorite bands. Top 3.
All right. First of all, third place got to be Rolling Stones.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Second has to be
Overrated.
tied with, I'd say, they both start with the number 3.
Wait, hold on.
Three-
Pause. Before you leave that out, the Hispanic community
SC,
very
hang on.
popular within the Rolling Stones community.
Yeah,
You know,
but
Like a lot of Hispanics like the Rolling Stones, the Mick Jagger and stuff.
so look, Number 2 and number 1 for me are tied. Three
I
Doors
see
Down
likes
and 3
Enrique
Days Grace.
Iglesias.
Three
Ah.
Doors Down.
Yes, sir.
Three Doors Down.
Yes,
If
sir.
I go crazy, then will you still call me a douchebag? Come on, bro.
What do you mean? Come on.
You would like that pussy
It's like
rock.
the one. It's like a one-hit wonder, bro. I remember like.
Come on,
I remember
bro.
going to the when I was
You like
like
Nickelback,
7
too?
or 8, going to the fucking
I do like Nickelback. Yeah.
daycare center at the gym, and that song was on all the time.
How about 3 Days Grace? You gonna shit on that too?
I'm not big on those. Not
Is that like a
couple
Christian
good.
rock? Is that
Nah,
Christian rock?
I don't know. I guess it probably
Like
falls,
Skillet?
kind of like falls in with the emo rock. I guess you would say.
What about Skillet? SC Steve, big Skillet guy.
I mean, I do like skillets to cook, but to listen,
Some Limp
I don't really
Bizkit?
like them.
Praise the Lord and rock. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I'm not a big fan of skillet.
They fucking sing the opening song for Raw.
Nah, I mean, I
They sing
haven't
the
watched
intro song
wrestling
for
in a
Raw,
long
bro.
time, dude.
They really do.
Big Hanson fan there, see?
That's pretty weak, bro. You got to put Rolling Stones for your number 1.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I've quit WWE, man. Just wrestling sucks, dude. I'm done with
You
it.
watch it every night, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I don't even have cable to watch it.
Yeah. Do you watch AEW at least?
I said I don't have cable. I'm done with wrestling.
No.
And I think AEW's gay.
No, you still. If I was going to say, if you still have YouTube, there's NWA.
Nah, I think they're all gay. I'm always going to be a WWE guy. I think they're all gay.
Come on, man.
I was watching some CZW earlier this morning, man. That shit's crazy.
CZW. Is it because your name is CMO? CZW,
That shit,
CMO?
they have those death matches. That shit is nuts, dude.
Well,
Dude, they're
that's
nuts,
that
man.
insane stuff there, right? I guess.
They get paid
right?
like $5 a match.
But Ambrose did it, so I was just checking it out. You know,
Ah.
Ambrose was in it.
This
Fucking
this is a rare occurrence. See,
Adam whatchamacallit?
You okay there, Wire?
I think you got. Uh-oh. The allergies there, my friend.
SC Steve.
Supposed to exhale, bro.
He's scratching his upper
Simo.
throat.
Simone and SC Steve sound alike.
I know. I was gonna say almost. I was gonna say the same thing, man.
That's what I've been trying to say.
You think so, man?
Brothers.
I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it.
Jesus Christ.
You okay,
Jesus
dude?
Christ.
Good. Take a sip of water, dude. Relax a little bit.
Here, take some of this.
Oh, dude.
Jesus
fuck?
Dude,
Christ.
that is disgusting.
What?
I
the
can't stop.
fuck?
Man. I didn't even eat nothing today.
Oh.
I think it's from coffee.
I think you got the virus.
I think I got ass problems.
Asperger's. Yeah, but I'm gonna head out before I get this virus. Just listening to Wire, I'm getting stressed out, dude.
Bro.
I'm stressing out just listening to this guy. But I just wanted to say real quick, fuck you, Ken, for being a little flip-flop fuck for selling out.
Oh.
Fuck you and Cronin.
Hello now.
You piece
What
of
the
shit.
heck?
Both of you guys are fucking assholes.
What?
What
Go
the
fuck yourself for shitting on Chris
Dude.
Peeps. Fuck you, fat
Brown.
fuck. Being fake as hell, blocking me all over the place only because Cronin's back. Fuck you. Good night, guys.
You
What he
little
meant to
douchebag.
what he meant to say is he can't wait for monetize this Friday.
God, Dr. Brown, what do you think about that?
Oh man, well we're gonna, probably if I'm able to get a hold of Ken, and see what he has to say about it. Those two.
Yeah, you want to throw Ken on right now?
Let's see if we could do this. Yeah, let's. You
This
want
is
to do it? You
necessary.
want to do it, or I want to do it? All right. I'll
You
let
do it. I'm listening to the Bob Seger System.
All right then.
1942 came out.
That's the song, and I'm yeah.
Can you play that on guitar?
Yes, definitely. I could definitely work on it there. Let's see if I could find my Ken here.
Did you name your favorite bands, Wire? Or did I miss that?
Yeah, in
episode?
past episodes, yeah.
Why don't you do it again?
Top 5 or top 3?
Just keep it at 3. How about that? Makes it
3?
harder. Yeah, it makes it harder. That's what she said.
Not really. I mean, it's more easier for me.
It's okay. Let's see if we could add Ken to this
Right
program.
now, or like all time, all time, or I can mix that.
Just do right now. How about that?
That I'm listening to, or like my favorite band.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm saying because, bro, like
How about this? Just name a band.
that I like.
Any band.
No, Black Sabbath, Metallica, and Van Halen.
Oh yeah.
All right. I mean, that's good.
Yeah. But
What if you had to pick one to see live?
Live,
Just
Van
one.
Halen.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Even now?
Yeah, you still got to see Eddie live. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. They're
Like-
looking pretty rough right now.
I know David Lee Roth
I mean,
is.
probably not going to be a thing, but probably. I mean,
David
I
Lee
mean,
Roth
now-
is let it
now
go.
like,
man.
Metallica can go. So I mean, that's probably
Metallica's still killing it.
David Lee Roth is too busy throwing all these high notes here and there to actually sing the damn song.
I want to go see. I'd go see.
Yeah,
that
he's
show.
trying
David
way
Lee
too hard.
opening
I
for
agree.
Kiss. I would go see that, but because the ticket's going to be low on that, but I would still see it. But one of my goals is a Metallica live concert. So, you know what I'm saying?
And
Did you
we're unable to get Ken on the show.
Go in there and get super stoned and shit.
guys talk about the Eagles breakups? You
I mean,
just
yeah,
went
that's a
and
big
saw
one,
the
Don
Eagles a couple
Felder.
That's
months ago.
another one. Yeah, I know. They
Did you
broke
watch
up.
that on Access? That special?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know about it. I don't
Yeah.
think we
Don
have.
Felder and Dan Rather special.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't know about it. He talked about. So what's up with Don Felder? I know he hasn't been involved with the Eagles for a couple of years now. You know. I guess he decided to leave for about. Give me up to date on what's going on here with this guy.
Well, basically, Simo, did you watch that special?
No, I didn't.
Well, do you know about the story?
I know about the old stories, not the recent shit.
Yeah.
Well, the recent is just kind of how, because I just saw this kind of like pretty much
Dude, really?
brought this together or whatever. Like the recent, like which was what, 2001, 2002, Dr. Brown?
I think so. Yeah. If I'm correct.
Because they did like the early 90s, Ho freezes over thing, right?
Yes, it was.
And
Felder
then-
was involved. Felder, Walsh, Fry, Henley, and Schmidt.
And the recent was kind of the same issue. Like it was like Fry and
It was-
Henley had the main money's percentage, and that was like the issue. And like Felder wanted to be equal type thing or whatever. And
So
it
they were
didn't,
getting the lion's share of the dough. there.
really money fuck shit up. But like they got all these people have so much money anyways, unless they like are broke because of years of partying. But like why
And
do
bad,
I mean that's
and
a lot
bad
of
management.
that's a
Remember
lot
the-
of reasons is the money, bro, that things didn't go good, money issues, money disagreements.
Yeah, and management disagreements as well. We can count how many times Peter Frampton, Black Sabbath, Bruce Springsteen had issues with their management. Boston is included as well. They ended up suing their managers because they were ripping them off left and right. Even Grand Funk Railroad, they took their manager Terry Knight to court because they were not getting paid the money that was due to them. I don't know if Simo was ever aware about that situation there.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I heard about it on a documentary. Do you remember that show Behind the Music? That's when I found out about that
Yeah.
thing there. A lot of 70s acts got ripped off. Even Ted Nugent, for crying out loud. His manager, David Krebs, was investing Ted's money
Oh, yeah.
into all these little side business that's why they went up going to shit no matter what.
So Simo, this is your first time on this program, correct? Live on
Yeah, I
call.
believe so.
So I always like to, me and Brown, we always like to ask the basic questions. What maybe a little top 3 action if you want, but like favorite best concert experience, group and year, or band and year, artist and year, please, in that.
Oh Lord.
That's a good question, Ryan.
All right, I'd have to start with
Timo, you got to admit that's a good question. That's right on
yeah.
the money, right, Timo? You got to give me a handshake right now on that. Come on.
That's very great.
Thank you. Well, please respond. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'd have to start with Pantera at Harpo's. Nothing will ever beat that concert, ever, 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 ever.
Where was it?
Harpo's in Detroit.
Harpo's Concert Theater by Chalmers Avenue.
Oh, it's like an indoor deal?
Yes.
It's indoor. It's a small place, but it fucking gets crazy in there, and all the big bands have played there.
Yes.
All
White
of them.
Zombie, Invade Malmsteen played there. Merciful Fate.
What year was this, Simo?
Oh, fuck. 90...
It was original.
90... 97 or 98, I want to say.
And do you remember an opening? Was there an opening group for them, or?
There was, but we were wasted, so I don't even remember. We were just there for Pantera.
And so, like, what made that experience your favorite? Like, what was so good about that concert?
Well, it was because I don't remember seeing anything like that, especially being, I think I was 17 or 18.
Right.
Old age.
And I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Like, but you knew of the band, though, right? Like, you followed the band? You were a fan?
Yeah. Well, I was a Metallica fan before that, and then my cousin was like, "Here, if you like that, you're gonna love this." And then he took me to the concert. He knew one of the guys that worked at the door. So they let us in there. Cool. It was a fucking amazing. The second one would have to be.
Where were you though? Hold on. Where were you sitting or standing or like?
No, right it's only standing. We were probably 20 rows back.
No, that's not bad. That's right. You're right in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there is no seating in there. Not that I'm aware of. I think there might be some on the balcony. But who the fuck wants to hang out there for a metal concert?
Nope.
So that's like your number one?
That would probably be number one, but a close second would probably be Ozfest 99 at Pine Knob.
Ooh.
Ah, nice.
Dr. Brown, you're a big Pine Knob guy, too, right?
Yeah. If I lived closer, I would have went out to more shows there to that venue there. When it was still, I'm glad that SEMO still calls it Pine Knob, other than the corporate name.
It's not DTE.
Yeah.
We don't call it DTE over here.
Yeah. It's a weird name, but
DTE Energy Music Theater is what's currently called.
Who was on that card for Ozfest? Was that 19? What year was that too, by the way?
That was 99.
Damn.
I believe it was Rob Zombie, Mudvayne. I'm trying to remember all that was there. There was so many. Slipknot, I believe. System of a Down. I don't remember if Korn was there or not.
Probably. It would have had to been, bro.
I'm not sure. There was so many back then.
Yeah, but like that's who's on that. Like those, it would be like Korn, Slipknot, fucking System. What's that one? Rage? Was Rage on there?
Dude, I remember seeing Mudvayne for the first time and saying, "What the fuck is this?"
You don't like them?
No, they were fucking amazing.
What about Drowning Pool?
The lead singer, Drowning Pool, was later on.
Yeah.
I just remember the lead singer like fucking singing the song, getting on the ground, and hitting the high note.
Hit the floor.
No, I'm talking about Mudvayne. And the guy fucking started bawling his eyes out at the end of his song. And then I got the ticket stub right here for my other concert, the No More Tours 2.
Ooh.
This was at DTE, whatever, Pine Knob. And it was Wednesday, September 19th, 2018, which was supposed to be his last tour. So we'll see. We'll
Dang, you were
see.
one of those
So
people who bought that shit and he hasn't done it yet.
no, this was 2018.
Oh, you saw it
Ah,
already?
Yeah, it was called No More Tours 2,
Yeah, Ozzy,
and
right?
it was supposed to be his farewell. Yeah.
But you saw it.
Yeah. What do you mean
What
I
do you
saw it?
think? What do you think?
Well, Zach Wild was the guitarist,
yeah,
so it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
cool to
yeah.
see Zach and Ozzy together again.
yeah.
I'm trying to remember who opened up for him. Stone Sour, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Stone Sour that opened up for him.
But like you would, like you were satisfied with, you know, Prince of Darkness.
I thought it was amazing.
Where were you
I got I
sitting
actually
though?
got a I actually got a couple of video. Let me see. I was pretty close for this one. RT 11. So I was on the right and 11 rows up.
Dang, you're right there.
Yeah.
Smell like cannabis.
Oh, it was pretty great.
Dr. Brown, did it smell like cannabis at the Maiden show?
Not really. No.
What? Do you know? Do you know what it smells like? Like
Um,
could it smell skunky?
no. It was. I don't think. Didn't smell like that at all. Believe it or not. More people were for fix on recording the show on their cell phones than that were smoking weed.
Yeah, but still though, like those pavilion shows when they're like at a pavilion,
Yeah.
which are they have that in like most cities. Like they have the pavilion setups. Like
Yes.
that's how they had do the like Snoop Dogg concerts, Willie
Yep.
Nelson. They
Yes.
do the pavilion shows.
Yeah.
You know, there's some burning at a Willie show. Come on,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people do that, Doctor Brown. People
If they, I
burn
know, yeah,
cannabis.
I know, yeah, but if there was, I certainly must have been far away because there was none at the spot I was in.
It's crazy. Yo, Dr. Brown, I went to Jimmy Buffett show with OR probably like 5 years ago,
Yes,
and I whipped out a big fat blunt with some purple weed, bro. Purple
nice.
Kush. But, bro, I just whipped it out. I was smoking it.
Ah,
Bro, this guy tapped me on the shoulder. Said, you
ah,
need to put that out right now. He flashed his badge.
yeah. So it was a cop, right? Or
Yeah, like
security, yeah,
he was like at the show though. He was like just, you know what I'm saying? He just has, I guess they have their badges on. I'm like, Ken.
yeah.
So,
They're there to make sure there's no issues with the
bro,
crowd there.
I was like, what? So, but no, it was cool. Like, it just depends. I feel like where you're at, obviously, with the whole, because people like to drink, but people do like to
Get into
partake in a
fights.
toke. You know,
Yeah,
they do toke,
yeah.
Dr. Brown,
Yeah,
at these
smoke
shows.
and they smoke them blunts. They do that. A lot of people try do a lot of that stuff there, but you also got to be careful that somebody doesn't report them or they don't get caught by the security there.
Yeah, but it's a thing that's always been a thing at concerts, though, is the cannabis culture.
Yeah,
As long as of course the alcohol there, of course, but also the cannabis. I feel like Dr. Brown is a major. Simo, what would you call it? Like a stepping stone of life of a man, of a young man.
Marijuana?
Like no, just at a concert doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your first pair of tits you seen or something. Like yeah, you gotta like that's a thing, right? That's what I'm saying.
I would say so, especially nowadays since it's more accepted. You know.
What's in all the movies and like how they, like Detroit Rock City, the movie, they don't
yeah,
they smoke a joint at the concert or something
yeah.
and shit like that. So that's what I'm saying. It's that alone is is part of the rock and roll culture, bro.
Yes, it
The
is definitely.
stoner,
Yeah,
the stoner culture is interwoven within the rock and roll, bro. Fucking George Harrison and the Beatles were stoned off their ass, Dr. Brown. You cannot argue that,
yeah.
right?
They were. Yeah,
Off reefer, bro.
yes, yeah.
English reefer.
Yes, and there was, and you could thank Bob Dylan for that. He was the one who turned those cats on to that stuff there.
It was like the Tide Stick, bro,
Yeah,
back in the day, you know? Really, Bob Dylan, for real?
yeah, that's what I remember reading in a few books there back.
Just read his lyrics and you'll see.
Yeah, but like,
Or the way he
that was,
None
sings
of
at
his lyrics
times.
fucking make sense at all.
or the way he sings.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big deal in the.
Yeah,
That's a big deal, right, Dr. Brown?
yeah, the weed there. Sadly, I never. Well, thing is, I never smoked weed because I'm a creature of habit.
Yeah.
Once I get hooked on something there, it's hard for me to quit. Whether it was soda pop or candy or candy bars or French fries and burgers and hot dogs, I'm gonna want it all the time.
Or like ice cream and pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And
But listen, Dr. Brown, we need
yeah,
to go ahead and dive into
yes,
a lightning round right here for SEMO,
yeah.
because we already gave ours. What is SEMO's top 5 favorite lead singers of rock?
Holy shit.
I know, right?
There we go. It's a new category.
All right, I guess I'd have to go with. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there.
That was you stole my meme, bro. The clear in your throat. SEMO. Do it in the mic next time though, so it can be like a thing.
All right, I got to go with Rob Halford.
Yep.
For your number 5 top.
Just in there somewhere. I can't put them in order. It's too tough. All right, we got Halford. We got Dio. That's 2.
Ooh.
Oh fuck. Halford, Dio. Fuck, man, this is tough. Now that I'm thinking about it. All right, I'd have to put Lane Staley in there. I know that's a little different, but
Really?
Lane Staley, fucking Chris Cornell.
Yeah. Because he was the one of the guys who in the alternative scene that could reach those high notes as well. I remember he was considered for a while the Rob Halford of the alternative rock.
Big ups to him, right, Brown?
Yep. All right.
I need one more. Fuck, man. Let me see. This is tough, man. Give me 1 second. I gotta think. Chuck Schuldiner.
Where is that? What? Who?
He is
From
the band Death.
Yeah.
Mm.
Pioneer.
Yes.
You wouldn't throw
I had a
Ozzy
lot of
in
pioneers in my list there.
there? You can't throw Ozzy in there, SEMO?
No, his voice. No. Anybody who does, that's just I would never get that. Not for a singer. As a songwriter, yeah, he's great. As a singer, and
yeah, but you can't look to it as like a polished singer, bro. You got to look to it as like rock voice. You know what I'm saying?
You got to give him a good.
I look at
you
it.
got to give Ozzy credit, despite all the health problems he's having right now. He's still able to belt out some good lyrics there. And
like he's no Freddie Mercury.
I'll tell you this. True. I'll tell you this. I've seen Ozzy either in Black Sabbath or by himself 5 times, and only 1 time did he sound like he was supposed to. I guess I'm basing it a lot on
really
that. Whether he was fucked up or just old and tired, he didn't sound good 4 out of the 5 times that I saw him.
When's one time that was good? The Tours too?
When he was indoors, 2012 at the Palace in Auburn Hills. And Slash opened up for him. Slash's solo shit.
Yes, Slash with Miles
I don't know
Kennedy.
If it was I don't know if it was the fact that it was an indoors thing, and that's why he sounded good. But all the times I saw him outdoors, it was ass.
Yeah, wow. That's true.
For his standard. I'm just saying he didn't sound like he was supposed to.
Like, what did he sound like, though? What do you mean?
Either he was, like, mumbling,
Really?
forgetting some of the lyrics, and, like, just mumbling along with it, and never on pitch. Never.
Dang.
Wow.
It was always too low. When he was trying to sing...
Actually, he did that back in at the US Festival in 1993. the opening song, Paranoid. He was all of a sudden he started singing lyrics. All of a sudden he forgotten just what said some mumbo jumbo in its place here. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess my thing is on the people that I've heard live. Like I should have put him in there, Bruce Dickinson.
Oh yeah.
If you ever heard Bruce
Yes,
Dickinson live,
definitely.
dude, he is
Yes,
perfect
definitely.
every fucking time.
Yes. Yes. Top notch. One of the top notches. I gotta give out. I should probably give out my top three, top five singers. I would have to include some of the little people in Simo's list here. I would include
Yeah.
Ozzy, Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson,
Well, no,
Ronnie
Ozzy
James
wasn't
Dio.
in his list.
Now I'm talking about my list.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm doing my list is
all right,
Ozzy,
go ahead.
Rob Halford, Ryan James Dio, Bruce
Yeah.
Dickinson, and fuck, what was him? I said what the fuck? I had his name. Oh yeah, motherfucker, man. That was
It's tough,
four,
that
correct?
last one.
I know.
Paul Stanley from Kiss.
Yeah, not really. You know, he was a
No.
good singer, but that's,
What?
No.
What do you mean not really? He was great.
Dude,
Yeah,
there were
he
bands.
was.
There were bands in the '80s that were hair metal that had better. I mean, fucking Skid Row's lead singer is amazing. What's his fucking nuts?
Sebastian
Sebastian
Bach.
Bach.
Sebastian Bach was incredible. Even who's the Blackie Lawless from fucking Wasp?
Yeah.
All kinds of shit that I would put above
Man,
fucking.
the way he
Paul Stanley.
sang would frighten the shit out of you, no doubt about that. I remember one of my buddies was like, we were listening to one of their records. He was like, "Damn, I bet Blackie gets a sore throat every night."
Yeah, yep. Fucking White Snake. There's all kinds of singers.
Coverdale,
Man. If you
yes.
just want to go just for hair metal alone, or hair bands alone, I'd put in there.
Coverdale Page.
And it's not necessarily my biggest thing. I don't really like hair metal the most, but the singers from that era were fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's true. They were.
Robert Plant.
Tool's lead singer is amazing, even if you
Yeah.
want to go in that era.
Yeah, he is a good singer. We will give him
Maynard.
his due. Yes, Maynard James Keenan. Definitely give him his due.
I mean, that would be the harder thing is to pick, or that would be the easier thing, would just be pick five. But if you want to pick five in like the genres, you go all day, man.
Yeah. Because God
I
knows.
like the Animals lead singer's voice.
Ah. Who was it
What do you
again?
guys know about the Animals?
The Animals? Oh, yeah, Eric Burton.
Eric Burden, yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's got that good hyped up, he's got that good hyped up voice. You know, you got to give him his due, definitely.
That's for oldies. Creedence, Clearwater Revival, all those
John
oldies fucking
Fogerty.
bands.
John Fogerty.
Imagine how they would sound with all this equipment nowadays. They would sound even better.
Yeah, they would.
Whoa, but
if they
still,
would-
I still see a lot of artists using real old, like vintage shit, like vintage guitars and shit now.
microphones.
I'm talking about like the sound. Yeah, the sound equipment.
Oh,
the techniques that they have in the studio.
Timo and Dr. Brown, the whole Detroit Motown movement, was that a big part of your life, Simo, or where, like, is it prevalent in Detroit? Since you are there now, you know, you're in that Michigan area, so.
Motown? I mean, that was a little before my time,
Yeah.
but
Well, I'm saying, weren't you raised around that and stuff?
oh yeah, it's huge around here. If you go into like restaurants, you'll usually hear a lot of Motown. Coffee shops, bars.
Because the
You'll always
Motown.
hear the Temptations and shit playing on the jukebox.
Yeah,
We need to
the
get blown in on this show. This is a Detroit, Detroit's favorite sons. You know what I'm saying? They're on the program right now.
Yeah, because
So-
the Motown sound helped put Detroit in the big spotlight in terms of musical acts and such. And later on, as we mentioned, you know, the bands like the MC5, Iggy Pop and the Stooges, and the Amboy Dukes with Ted Nugent, and later on, bands like Seduce would later hit the scene as well. Though Seduce should have got more recognition than they deserved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And all those bands really, they looked up to Motown. Like Ted Nugent and Bob
Yeah.
Seger. They all listened to Motown and loved that first, you know.
That's my first concert. Simo was Bob Singer.
Oh yeah, where was this?
where the Rockets used to play, the Summit. That's
Nice.
where Lakewood Church is now. Where the Joe Osteen, they got Joe Osteen or whatever.
Joe Osteen's arena.
Yeah, that's his church.
Huge mega
That's
church.
where the Rockets used to play.
Mega church, as it's called now.
Yeah. I probably saw the most MILFs in my life at a Bob Seger concert.
What's your worst concert experience? Like the bands that were just, I mean, like you talk about Ozzy, how it just was bad in sound, or maybe they were assholes, or
Well, my worst concert experience was at a thing called Rock on the Range. They have it in Ohio every year, and this was, trying to think exactly when it was. Had to clear my throat.
Go ahead. We all been doing that. I've did it a couple times there tonight.
It's a meme now. No, it was Rock
See,
on
I
the
just
Range
did it a moment ago.
in Ohio, and it's a 3-day festival. I'm trying to find the T-shirt real quick, man, because it had all the bands. And in 3 days, it's kind of hard to remember how many bands was there,
Dr. Brown, what band? Are you wearing a band T-shirt right now, Dr. Brown?
No, not right now. I'm wearing the Darth Vader T-shirt right now.
You've been wearing that same shirt the whole week.
Nah.
That's the thing. Every concert I go to, I have to buy a T-shirt. It's just a tradition.
You have a Skinny Puppy T-shirt, Dr. Brown?
Yeah, I'm not wearing it right now, but I do have it in my dresser drawer there.
You have any Judas Priest?
Yes, I do.
T-shirt?
I have one as well.
Gotta start rocking that, Dr. Brown. Which one is it?
I actually have been. I actually have.
Screaming for Vengeance shirt?
What again?
Screaming for Vengeance
no,
album shirt?
it just has a logo. It's one of those tank tops. It's a black tank top with the logo across the front there. That's about it.
Oh, the classic.
Yep.
Tell you another great concert I went to was Leonard Skinner.
Ah.
I didn't think it would be worth a shit because it's his brother singing now and all that.
Yeah.
But just hearing all those songs live, the instrumentals here in Freebird.
It's cool.
Here's the concert. I found it. Rock on the Range. What'd you say? All right, Rock on the Range. It's in Columbus every year.
Yeah. Is it like a free thing or is it?
Fuck no, dude.
No, you got to pay a lot of money for festivals.
Oh my god, we have VIP, so we paid a shit ton. Okay, now this is crazy though. I can't. I got like a fucking cock in my throat. All right, 2017. Here it is. Okay.
The sunflower seed stuck in your throat.
Day one, which was a Friday night, Korn was the headliner.
Ooh.
But
nice.
It fucking rained. Or wait, was it Korn or Soundgarden? Okay, no, it was Soundgarden. I'm sorry. Let me start over. Soundgarden was the band that was supposed to play on Friday night as a headliner. The day before the concert is when Chris Cornell killed himself at the fucking motel here in Detroit.
Wow.
At the casino. So obviously they didn't make
MGM
it, right?
MGM Grand, I guess it was.
Yeah, that was the day before, dude. It was a Thursday. They were supposed to play that Friday night.
And they were playing the Fox Theater on Woodward Avenue.
Yes, dude. Yes. So I couldn't see. I was going to see Soundgarden for the first time, and it didn't happen.
Wow.
Now that's not it. The next day, Korn was the headliner. Everything went great.
Freak on a Leash.
And then on Sunday, Metallica was the headliner.
Ooh,
but they got fucking rained out.
Wow.
And didn't go on stage until 12:30, and everybody was too drunk to fucking even stay that late. So they played to like 2,000 people.
That's not even a concert experience. It's like getting fucked
nightmare,
out of going
dude.
to see something, which I have a story on that.
And that's a shit ton of money. I mean, Volbeat was there, The Offspring, Primus, Live, Chevelle, Papa Roach, Seether, everybody was there. But 2 out of the 3 days got rained out.
Wow.
And then Soundgarden, of course. Chris Cornell died the fucking day before.
Never was able to make it because of what happened there.
Yeah. But Stone Sour's lead singer, Corey Taylor, did like an acoustic set. But I wasn't going to watch that shit, dude. I was like, it was going to make me tear up and shit. I'm like, I ain't here to fucking cry at a concert,
Damn. How much did you pay for all that?
Oh, dude, it was like $600 a set.
Oh,
Holy shit, dude.
fuck
That's
that.
wow.
You better get a fucking free lanyard or something with that.
I got the lanyard and the T-shirt, but dude, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Fucking nightmare. What were you gonna say about your experience? Your bad one?
It's like the tickets were bought, but I didn't get to go.
Oh, okay.
Like it was, which I thought that's what you were going towards. It was just like bad luck, so you can get to go, right? Missed out on Metallica and Cornell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I missed
So,
out on both.
I missed. I was gonna go to.
And I had to drive to Columbus.
It was
Which I
Van
fucking
Halen
hate.
with David Lee Roth though, but it was it was obviously recent, and I was gonna go see him, and then they had like one of Bob Marley's sons or something to like for the opening act. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get fucking stoned and go to. And so we got the tickets. Boom. Probably like a month later, that's when OR sent me to boarding school. No. I was like, what? You
That's
serious? Because they were good tickets too, bro.
Like, can't you at least wait till after this?
Super
Dude.
stupid.
How about yourself? No, I can't stop. How about
But
yourself,
Brown,
Dr.
have you
Earl?
ever have y'all ever like missed out on concerts like just due to rainouts?
Well, if it all depends, if it's arena show, then I would be if I missed out, it would probably be because of either traffic issues or
Well,
something
yeah,
like
come on.
Yeah,
You're gonna get to the show one way or another. If it's late, but you're still gonna get there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I'm saying if it's an outdoor venue.
I've
I
had
don't-
so many. I've had 2 Mayhem Fests rained out.
Wow.
That's a thing that they used to have every year.
Yeah, so I remember that tour. That would be an annual tour there. They would have acts like Rob Zombie and a couple other grindcore bands.
Slipknot,
Yes.
yeah. Marilyn Manson.
Rage metal is what they were often referred to as.
You're a big grindcore guy, right, Brown?
Well, not that much, but I know what you're trying to get at with bands like Napalm Death or Godflesh,
Jesus.
Yeah. And by the way, for those who are
How
listening
about some
out there,
Dying Fetus?
I haven't really heard of them. I don't really listen to it, but I did listen. I remember
Some
hearing
anal
about.
cunt?
I heard of that group, believe it or not. Probably should get Joe Cronin to play some of that on his next program.
Right.
He would have no problem saying the band's name there, that's for sure. Yeah. Because he likes
Dr. Brown, have you seen the Dirt movie yet?
No, I never did, believe it or not. I know, but I heard.
You have
I heard
Netflix right now?
I should probably check because we have it in the living room out here, so definitely check
you
it
gotta
out
watch
sometime.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it
I mean,
good?
it's a movie to watch when everyone's asleep. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not
Yeah,
a
I know.
family movie, but
Oh yeah, well, obviously we all know that. And I know a lot of
it's like
kids out there. Yeah.
You remember that movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg?
Yes, I remember.
It's kind of like that, to be honest.
Yeah, but the details of real life events of a real band.
Yeah.
And by the way, for all the people out there who get easily offended with this, that, and this being done there, don't watch the movie because I guess that was how the scene was back then. I heard about some people were complaining about some of the scenes in there, how women were like being treated, but that was how it was in the Sunset Strip back at that period.
Oh, God, yeah. All those groupies, give me a break.
Yeah.
And they loved it, too, so
Yeah.
I don't want to hear no
They
shit.
in fact, there were many of those groupies would buy these bands pizza and food and everything. That's how much they loved them.
Yep. Yeah, the SJW shit and the objectifying women, yeah, that's not something. Dude, it happened, Just
I
deal
would,
with it.
I would love to tie down an SJW to a chair and have that person watch all the episodes of All in the Family, see how they would react.
Oh, yeah. Dude, even shit
That
like
would
Pepe
blow
Le
their
Pew, even
minds.
shit like that would be offensive nowadays.
Yeah. that would
That was a
fucking
fucking
blow their
cartoon.
minds. I know.
Yeah.
See how that will react to that show.
Yes, sir.
What was I gonna say? Shout out to Cronin, by the way. He liked the link to this program, Dr. Brown. That was nice.
All right, that's good to hear. I was on Twitter or any of our streams going on, I guess.
None of that are important right now.
Okay.
This is the place to be
All right.
with actual substance
Hey
nowadays.
Joe, if you're
Jesus
out there,
Christ.
feel free to call in, dude. Yeah, give us your take on what we're talking about here.
This is a total transformation of Young Republican. I mean, this is the most substance y'all have probably gotten out of me in years.
Yeah.
That wasn't stirring shit up. Simo, can you agree to that?
I mean, until tomorrow, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, bro, we're like 4 episodes in.
Just,
Like,
I mean,
this
just
is a moving
dedicate
train.
1 day to it. Just
This
don't
is a
go
moving
too
train,
far.
bro.
Just say 1 day a week.
I mean, I'm not doing any drama shows on here. You haven't seen any of those.
Nope.
I mean, this is my main thing right now, Dr. Brown.
Nope,
And
drama is not allowed on this program. We made that perfectly clear. I know a couple people. I know SC earlier on was like on one of our shows. So it's like, where's the drama? Can we get to the drama? It's like, you expecting drama on a music
Yeah, I mean,
program?
dude, like
Come
SC
on.
Steve, dude, you need to stop SC for real.
I thought
Come
you
on,
guys
man.
were the drama trolls. I thought you had it going on.
Bro,
No.
this is a new thing. I've been wanting to do this type of programming for a while,
Yeah,
and
This is a good program.
it is.
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like Simo, you know how I am, but you know how I can
Now
be,
Ken is
and this
on
is
the
how
line.
I'm being right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to try and end Ken. Ken's online
Add
right
Ken.
now.
I got the lightning round questions for him. The top 5s, the top 3s combos.
He doesn't
Need to
come
hear him.
on. He doesn't come on to the little guys shows anymore.
No, we're not. No drama, no digs.
No,
I don't want none of that.
He was on
I'm
my
gonna
chat.
gas him.
He was
We
on.
need his top 5 and top 3s, bro.
All right, let's see if I can add him.
No drama on the show, please, guys.
Yeah, bye. And by the way, Ken was on my channel on Tuesday night discussing the same thing, rock and roll, past and present here.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. He should have saved it for this show.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. Let's keep the
And
music talk
Here you
over
go.
here, guys.
Here,
And
I
he's
got something
unavailable.
for Ken right here. Ken, here you go, buddy.
Oh gosh.
Dude, I
Sad
can't
he
stop.
didn't,
I
I'm
can't
thinking-
Simo,
stop.
are you
I don't
wanting
know
to
what
do
is
some type
going
of
on.
drama show tonight, or is that on your program, or are you trying to?
Clear my throat again. I'm down for whatever, man. I'm just here talking.
Interesting. But I do need Ken's. We're gonna give him top 5 bands.
Yeah, sadly,
Give him top 3
let's see if you
concerts.
can add him in wire.
Let's see. Did he say he wanted to come in? I don't want to bug
No,
him.
I tried to add him. It says unavailable. So
Let's see. I don't know if he's watching. Is he watching?
I do not know. Ken, if you're
If Ken answers the program right now, I'm gonna hit him with his top 3.
all right.
We're gonna do the top 5. You know, obviously this is
Keeps calling me.
that's Dr. Brown.
Oh, fuck your mother in hell, you cocksucking faggot fucks.
What?
I think he didn't like that.
Wow. He must not be a music fan of rock. I think he's a rap guy anyway, hip hop and stuff, classic hip hop.
Yeah, he likes
What
House
the
of Pain and all that.
Dr. Dre, you know,
What the
50
hell?
Cent. I mean, maybe you can't be calling rap fans, on a rock show. It's kind of racist. Damn, bro. I thought like he was a rock guy though, bro. I thought, Damn, dude. We're not even being like Simo. We're not even being. Is he mad at you because you were being a dick earlier or whatever?
No, he has no reason to be mad at me.
Because you know me, I haven't even said fat mouth or nothing, bro. Like I'm trying to be fair to everyone on this program. Because
He's
like,
probably
bro,
got-
everyone loves
Probably got
rock.
shit going on, man. Everybody's like wound up tight.
Damn, dude.
Money problems,
I did
family
not
problems,
expect
whatever.
that.
You
I
know.
just did not expect that.
Well, I guess don't go on his show, Dr. Brown.
Yeah. I've been able to call in on this show, the guy to get my way on whichever topic they've been discussing.
I really want everyone's top 3s and top 5s in this community.
Yeah.
And I really wanted Ken's.
He'll
But
be all
now,
right.
like, it makes sense though. He's a rap guy. He hasn't, and that's not even a dig. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like a fucking like he's a big hockey guy and ask him about like fucking ice skating. You know what I'm saying? Or fishing or something. This is totally different. Color books. Ken. Ken supports the colored sports and athletes. I'm shocked by this,
I
Dr.
don't
Brown.
know.
You're Florida right now,
I'm
Brown?
I'm so surprised about the response he gave.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Um,
Moving on.
damn,
Right.
dude. Totally just. Well, I mean, Simo, what's your issue with Ken? Let's just go ahead and throw it out there.
No, this ain't that show, man. This is a
Is
wrong show.
everyone mad at Ken in the community because he let
I'm
Joe on the program for 10 minutes? Like, come on, really?
I don't care what he does, man.
Like, everyone, like, I'm
I
not
don't know.
even.
I don't. I'm surprised myself. I mean, like
We
many
want them
people
together, bro.
we like them together. I think we all agree.
Yes.
It's like we all like it. I don't know if people, as you said, people jumping on his
I
back
barely
about
heard
this.
Cronin on the program, bro, to be honest.
Yeah. Remember, he was doing a little alias over there as the Filthy Mouth Gamer's cousin.
It's pretty sickening, bro. It's
Yeah.
pretty sickening. Um, trying to think. Simo, have you ever met any women at concerts? Done anything?
You mean women that are in bands or just?
No, like just drunk
Fans,
chicks at
fans,
concerts.
fans, and
Oh,
Oh
groupies.
yeah, couple. I got a few phone numbers, but I never really hooked up with anybody because they usually didn't live close enough.
nah.
Because, like I said, a lot of the concerts are out a couple hours away from where I live. You know, they're usually in Clarkston or Grand Rapids, kind of far
You got the
away.
hotel right there too?
No, we usually just drive back.
Ah, that's okay. The drive
When we
back
go to
sucks, right?
when we go to Columbus, yeah, we get the hotel. But if it's in state, we just drive back a couple hours.
Damn, dude.
And then if you go downtown, a lot of those concerts are couples, you know, or single dudes and just dudes. So
Yeah.
it's kind of rough. But
Yeah, but when you get the you gotta get the room though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dr. Brown, what are you doing? Have you had
you
dinner
definitely don't
today?
want to get a room in Detroit.
Yeah, I heard a lot about some of the hotels down there,
You
especially
want to get robbed? Yeah,
yeah,
go.
yeah, or especially the poor conditions. Remember do you know the Leland Hotel by Cass and Bagley?
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah,
it's hell on earth.
yeah, but said so. I read a lot of shit about that spot there, and the guy who owns it, Mike Higgins. He hasn't been doing shit to keep it in check.
No, nothing at all.
And the nightclub that's often is located in there, the Leland City Club, which was my second home throughout the 90s and early 2000s. That needs, God knows what's happening with that. If John Tapper would walk into that for one episode of Bar Rescue, he would throw a fucking shit fit.
Oh yeah, you'd have a field day with that place.
I know.
What about? I forgot about this concert. Have you ever been to the Fox Theater?
No, I
Ooh.
never did. No, sadly, I
Dude,
never did.
I saw Greta Van Fleet there a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I actually have a video on my channel from it. We were very close.
Nice.
And they're a very divisive band. You know, a lot of people say they sound too much like Led Zeppelin or whatever the fuck. I don't care, dude. They were fantastic, especially for being 21 years old. They were
You were
great.
fucking drunk that night, right, Zemo?
No, I was actually that's a very nice place, dude. That's not a place you get wasted on. It's a theater where they have like fucking big, huge plays, and you know,
Yeah.
looks fucking ancient and beautiful in there. People usually dress up in suits to go watch concerts
Yeah.
in that place.
You wore a suit, Zemo, for.
Fuck no, I had a t-shirt on. I think I had a Leonard Skinner t-shirt on, as a matter of fact. Just because they sound like, you know, Led Zeppelin and from that time. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing a lot of stories about them ripping off Led Zeppelin, but keep in mind, the band Kingdom Come. You
Yeah.
ever? I mean, they were the first to really duplicate Zeppelin's sound and style.
Everything to me is a rip off of something.
Yeah,
Nothing is absolutely original.
yeah.
No way. Even Led Zeppelin ripped off some shit.
Oh man,
You
dude,
can talk about that for
yeah.
hours.
Oh gosh, there are a lot of videos out there duplicating and talking about that just as well. Makes you wonder that if Zeppelin were not the greatest cover band of all time.
Yep. They copied a lot of those old blues players.
Yeah. In fact, they call me the hunter. That line in "How Many More Times" that was taken from a Booker T and MG song.
Yep. And damn, what a great song that is, though. How many more
Abs-
times? Jesus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, Dazed and Confused was originally recorded by the Yardbirds when Jimmy Page was still involved with them. But it was, but Keith Relf, the singer at that time, did it had different lyrics and different singing style than Robert Plant. So it's on there on YouTube right now.
How about the talent that was in the Yardbirds?
Oh yeah, Clapton, Page, and Beck.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
Three of the
that band. So
greatest guitarists ever right there.
yep.
In one band.
Yeah, exactly. So they definitely get a massive nod for being part of the influence. Here's something else. Zeppelin almost came close to be called, was originally called the New Yardbirds because apparently him and Peter Grant, their new manager, that convinced the other guys to let Jimmy have the name. So they decided to call it the New Yardbirds because the other members of the group were tired. They just wanted to move on to other things.
Right.
And I guess we all know Keith Moon from The Who saw them play live and said they would sink like a lead balloon. And that's when they decided to call the group Led Zeppelin.
Yep.
And wouldn't you know, they would become the greatest band of one of the greatest bands of all time. And would do exact the opposite of what Keith Moon had said.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you feeling okay, YR? Is he still there?
I think he's taking his break, one of his many breaks that he takes during his shows.
All right. I know we took one earlier there. So, definitely got to bring up Detroit bands. They're like Seduce. I mentioned the band Seduce. I guess I do a couple
Oh
of reunion
yeah.
shows. There you
Yeah,
are.
go ahead and do the Detroit band thing
Yeah,
'cause it
we have
seems to.
most of the bands I usually saw throughout 1988 to about 1995, 94 was usually mostly local groups. Bands like Children of the Revolution, bands like Sweet Teas, Heaven's Wish, Seduce, as I mentioned, Liars, Cheats, and Thieves, Jugglers and Thieves, Inside Out, which was an all-female punk trio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Trash Brats, I know they recently did a reunion show about a year or two ago, I guess, from my understand. They were like glam punk, basically, to the full T, to the full max. And definitely got to give the Detroit scene a lot of credit.
There were very many bands that didn't make it big enough here
I know they
that should
should,
have been much
and they
bigger.
should have, and yet I'm going to quote something that one of the writers from the old Jan Rag magazine wrote in that publication there. There was this singing group called the Psycho Sluts from Hell. I don't know if you remember that one song they had called "I Wish You Were a Beer." There was a singing group, and
No, I don't remember that.
eventually a couple members of that group would later form a group of their own called Hansel and Gretel, an industrial metal group there. Um, I guess some people complained about them that they didn't have no talent, they were cheesy, and yet there are bands in Detroit that do deserve a lot of recognition. That's the point this writer from Jam Rag was talking about. And Jam Rag, for the record, folks, was a little local publication that was distributed through rock clubs and record stores around the Detroit area at that time, including East Detroit and Roseville, Allen Park, and Southland, such.
Southgate.
Southgate, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, all right, so
I actually live in Wyandotte. Do you know where that is?
yes, I've been there a few couple times in the past. Yes.
Yeah.
How is it?
Nice.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you was gonna say YR?
No, this is the Detroit Rock and Roll Hour. This is y'all segment. Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah, so I think we pretty much covered it. I haven't seen any Detroit bands as of late since moving here, or actually since Ritz went under back in '95. There was the Palladium for a while, and I guess they finally shut down. I guess, you know,
Hmm.
Yeah. They're shut down. And do you remember a band called Ray Street Park?
Ray Street Park. I don't think I have. No.
Okay, they were like the local hard rock band that was supposed to make it big, but they never did.
Oh wow.
My point was, there's a lot of bands that used to get supported a whole lot around here when live music was a bigger thing. But
Yes.
now, since it's more like DJs and dancing
Yeah.
and rap is more prevalent,
EDM and stuff.
right?
All the bands. The same thing with the 1980s. All when the techno pop like the Human League, Heaven 17 started coming out. All the club owners and club management has to go with what's current, and got to convert to that. While
Yeah,
all the other bands out there with the guitars, bass, drums, singers who actually put in time and energy and effort into their art,
it's way cheaper to get
they
the
get
electronical shit. Yeah.
yeah. It's
But
a
the thing
sad
is,
thing.
they still support. My biggest point was that they still support people the same way. It's just a different type of music now. Like all the rappers are the ones that are getting all the support now.
Yeah, especially these young rappers out there who I haven't even heard of, and who are
Yeah,
later dying of drug overdoses or getting tossed in prison.
yeah. So it's shifted away
So
from live
basically,
music.
it's not a big Detroit rock scene anymore.
Who?
No, I don't think there's a big rock scene anywhere anymore.
No.
Not for local music.
Other than tribute bands out there or cover groups.
I mean, there are bands around that still play, but it's very, few and far between now.
What was the bands or most of the local groups I remember seeing when I lived in Richmond, Michigan. There were bands like Quastatic, used to be called None the Wiser,
Yeah,
Sound Project, Not Guilty, and they usually played this one place in Richmond called Chaps Bar and Grill on the weekends. And they basically, it had to be covers. It had to be either Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry or Night Train by Guns N' Roses. The main stuff people know and love so well. Even they throw an Eminem cover here and there, which
yeah,
sadly, but when it comes to original bands with original music, the ones that grabbing the most attention that come to the cities are the nationals, like as you say, Greta Van Fleet and this group, or Imagine Dragons, who I excuse me, who I consider not rock and roll at all. I'm sorry, that's
no.
stuff for the
Oh, come on, man.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. I'm
Well,
not
not
it.
only that, it's way easier to just throw your music up on the internet than it
Yeah.
is to go out looking for a place to play.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we got Facebook. They have their own sites. They have
Wait, but Dr.
YouTube.
Brown, what about Numbers? That's like a rock fucking place to go.
Yeah,
You know?
well, the groups I saw there were like a Meat Beat Manifesto, Leather Strip, the more lean towards the industrial side there. Those are the bands I went and saw, checked out there a few times there. Uh,
How long ago was this?
this was in 2016, a couple years back, a year before
Oh,
I joined the YouTube community there.
Yeah, but you still go to Numbers, though.
Yeah, not as late because of the Corona-19 bullshit that's going on.
Yeah.
That's been shut down. And so most of the DJs are streaming from Twitch TV right now. And every Friday, Wes Wallace, I'm sure you probably heard of that guy, he does his DJing from Twitch until
Yes.
further notice every
Is
Friday
that,
night.
did he inspire you to do your electronic
No, actually, I've been wanting to do.
programs?
Yeah, that. You mean the crazy techno shit I do often did?
Yes. Yes.
Actually, I've been wanting to do that for a while. To actually be honest with you. I always imagined how a techno beat would sound with some sort of odd soundscape in the back room, some film dialogue and everything else. I always wanted to see how that would sound. It's just morphed and morphed into these other streams I did in the past. I always wanted to try my hand at a dark soundscape segment, where it's just dark sounds all the way through with a little bit, as I mentioned, film dialogue here and there, a little bit of slow beats, slowed down here and there. I always wanted I always wanted to try that because I've been into dark ambient artists like Lustmord, Iron Cthulhu, Apocalypse for a long while now. Low, the project from Mick Harris from Napalm Death.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm into that. I've always had a thing for dark sounds, stuff that I guess that shows how outright avant-garde I am.
How about like bands like Nightwish or Cradle of Filth or stuff like that? Or is
Well, I'm not much into the Cradle of Filth, but I know the last girlfriend I had, she was big on Nightwish. She was into the symphonic, female-fronted bands, metal bands like such
Arch
as
Enemy?
those. Yes. Yeah, she was in not much, She preferred the opera kind of stuff, the
Like
symphonic stuff.
Lacuna Coil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Within Temptation, Epica, and all that scene there. She was also big on the J-rock scene. She had an obsession with some guitar player named Manasama, who played in this band called. Yeah, I know. That's what I said as well when I first heard the name. He's like this big Japanese guitar player who almost looks like the full homo version of Motley Crue. She was. If Mick Mars became a transgender, to put it that way,
oh Jesus!
she
Since
was
you
she was obsessed with him. She had one of my old cell phones that she downloaded all these pictures of him. She kept in a portfolio. I was like, wait a minute, I'm the boyfriend. Shouldn't it be obsessing over me?
Jesus Christ!
Well,
Since
so
you brought up that Japanese shit,
yeah,
what have either one of you ever listened to baby metal?
no, I since the woman I was involved with so obsessed with J Rock and all that stuff, I strayed away from anything Japanese music related. Yeah,
Wow. Well, the baby metal is this three like teenage girls
yeah.
supposed to be metal group. I never listened to them, so it was
Oh.
like I was just wondering if anybody else had.
I should probably look it up to see how these sound, but you say they're supposed to be metal, correct?
They're supposed to be, but I mean, they got like this fox fucking weird shit that they do with their hands instead of the devil horns. They make it look like a fox. This too sweet symbol.
Uh-huh. Ah.
It's fucking. I don't know. That's obviously why I've never looked into it, but they're huge apparently,
Wow.
and all that Japanese shit is just weird to me, man.
Yeah. That is true. Y'all check out a movie called Vampire Girl Meets Frankenstein Girl. That movie is an outright trip of its own self. I remember seeing it with her and on video. I guess I forgot which it was. It was a movie streaming site, I guess it was, which I forgot the name of it, Yeah, whatever. But again, it is one tripped out movie worth checking out, man. Definitely.
Japanese.
Yes, definitely. All right. So, anything else we want to talk about to bring up here or anything else?
Young.
Young, you there, dude?
Sounds like a rep.
Yeah, because I think we're over the close to the 2.5 hour segment here.
Well, good talking with you, man. I'm gonna take off.
Okay, you have a good one. Simo,
We'll see you
give it
next
up
time.
All right, have a good one there, guys. All right. All right. There was Simo. He was a call. I brought him in, to participate on our show tonight. So right now it's me and YR. Gotta wait till YR gets back. I guess he's away right now for the moment. I'm going to give everybody notice. Probably guess Tuesday nights will be our flagship nights here. I what I understand. 6 p.m. On the Central Time area, 7 p.m. in the Eastern Time Zone. It'll be me and YR discussing music-related topics, whether it's heavy metal. We could throw in some other regular rock, hard rock
What
ish.
happened?
Yeah, Sema had to leave, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's see who else we can get in here tonight.
All right. Hope you have better luck what I have there.
Yeah, man. Ken
Yeah.
Ken wasn't having it tonight.
All right. He'll probably message me later on to tell me I'm sorry about that, or you would want to ask a question about what's going on here. All right. So I'm going to take a leak. I'll be right back. See if you could add whoever you can.
Yeah, let's see who I can come up with.
All right. I'll be back, folks.
Trying to get Mr. Crone on. Mr. Cronin. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got an interesting combination coming up. I wonder if they'll answer. Come on, guys. Do the right thing. Come on, brother. Come on, fella. Nah, what about Tommy? Let's go ahead and add Tommy in here and see what happens. Cronin, call in. I need your top 3. Top 5. Let's see. It's interesting that SEMO leave like that. Dr. Brown's taking a really long piss. Maybe he's taking a poo.
Dude, that was a long ass piss, man.
Would you take a waterfall?
Oh, dude, my bladder was it was to the point where it was begging for mercy. Release me.
Well, I try to add Tommy in here.
Tommy's not gonna come on the show with you and I, but he hates my guts. He's never gonna. He can't stand me. Every time I pop on either Ken's show or Joe's show, he always takes off. Always takes off. So,
And he's paid to be on Joe's show, so it's like
I know
he's screwing Joe out of their agreement. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, come on, man. What the fuck? Yeah, but like I said, how Tommy is. He won't go on any show that I'm on. As I mentioned, he will leave whenever I pop in to say hi and shit. Fuck this.
You want to be cool with him, right?
Well, I would like to be cool with him, too. But sadly, he's one of those guys that likes to hold grudges for dear life. And as we all know, that's the opposite of what he's been preaching to everybody. Stay positive, And usually letting shit go and moving on is part of positivity.
Right.
Yeah. So sadly, it ain't going to happen anytime soon, Yeah, so you think we should I think we probably should just end the show for tonight.
You trying to end it?
Yeah, it's pretty much Waiting right
Solid
over.
2 hours, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah, this probably should end it for tonight and save the rest for our next broadcast. So Tuesday night is our flagship. At the same time, will be our flagship night.
It's going to be the same flagship night. Now, it might not be the time. We might have to do a later time.
Like 10 to about 9 p.m.
Yeah, we might have to do, something like
It
that.
doesn't matter. I'm up to it, man, no matter what.
And you like the late night stuff too, right?
Yeah, it is pretty good there. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We might have to do a little late night rock.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
definitely. Okay, sounds pretty good to me there.
All right, brother. We're gonna go ahead and pack
gonna-
the instruments up here, and
Okay, and head out the door there and bang whatever groupies that are out there. Hopefully Debbie is out there as well. Yeah, I see her in the back there. I had to throw that in there. Oh, there's Chris. Oh, she got Crystal with her.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we do. I could bang Crystal from behind there. She can lick on Debbie's twat, and me and Debbie could high five each other. We could call that the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, wee. Around.
Dude. All right. For that, okay. I'm Dr. Earl. This is YR here. This is Metal Maniacs, episode 4. Look for us next week. We got a lot more topics to talk about there. And you guys have a good one, all right?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you as well. You have a good one, YR.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye there.